listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255, the New Orleans Talk Network. Listeners are as important as
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the
What's up,
New
everybody?
Orleans.
This is your boy, Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHeyOU15.
Listen, this is your boy, Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFred Jones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with GSportz. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money! money!
Well, what's up, everybody? This is your boy, Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHeyOU15.
Listen, this is your boy, Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFred Jones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with GSportz. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A, and on Twitter, G_paid in full.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Yo, man, it's Fred. Listen, don't forget to like and subscribe to our New Orleans Talk Network page on... keep going. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Fred. Listen, don't forget to like our page on YouTube, FanView, Facebook, FanView, and on Twitter, FanView New Orleans.
Holla at you, man, and act with us. And we gonna make this thing on the pop with New Orleans Talk Network. With real fans talk about real sports. And not only sports, everyday activity and life, man.
My name is Jaquan Jackson, SMU commit, and you're tuning into FanView.
Yo, what's up? It's Pooga Williams, 2017 Mr. Football. You are now tuned into FanView Live on New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
FanView Live, where real fans talk about real sports, only on the New Orleans Talk Network. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're not just a sports talk show, we're a talk show about sports.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Yo, man, it's Fred. Listen, don't forget to like and subscribe to our New Orleans Talk Network page on... keep going. What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Fred. Listen, don't forget to like our page on YouTube, FanView, Facebook, FanView, and on Twitter, FanView New Orleans.
Holla at you, man, and act with us. And we gonna make this thing on the pop with New Orleans Talk Network. With real fans talk about real sports. And not only sports, everyday activity and life, man.
My name is Jaquan Jackson, SMU commit, and you're tuning into FanView.
Yo, what's up? It's Pooga Williams, 2017 Mr. Football. You are now tuned into FanView Live on New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
FanView Live, where real fans talk about real sports, only on the New Orleans Talk Network. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, because we're not just a sports talk show, we're a talk show about sports.
Hi, I'm...
I appealed this shit, and I ain't hear back from yesterday, man. No way. We live? Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. Listen, I'm your boy, Fred.
GSportz in the building.
Yeah, listen, man, we got a lot to talk about. You're down here in New Orleans, GSportz.
Yeah.
We got a lot to talk about. My man, Coach Hurricane here, got a game he coaching tonight, so he couldn't be with us tonight. But listen, we got a lot to discuss. Listen, tune to New Orleans Talk Network on NOTN Live, on Twitter, on Facebook and on Instagram. We really appreciate it. Also tune into FanView Live on Instagram, FanView Note on Twitter, and also follow us FanView Live on YouTube. And don't forget to follow my man GSportz on Twitter. Well, yeah. Don't forget to follow my dog on YouTube, man. The video in the car.
Oh, man.
And Warren Easton. The amount of views in a couple of days.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's big time. It's big time.
It was ridiculous.
Listen. If anybody trying to follow our high school media as far as football, basketball, if you're not following GSportz, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know where you're at. I just don't know where you're at. And I'm not saying it because you're a co-host with me. I'm just telling you the facts.
Right.
But we got a lot to discuss. Y'all know what I like to do. I always give a shout out and salute to the armed forces, the military, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, first responders, local police department, local fire department. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for the services y'all do. If no one's gonna give y'all love and respect, FanView Live will do it each and every week. Thank you guys so much at the top of it. But listen, we're gonna start this show off right. We know what everybody wanna talk about in sports, G. What just happened yesterday, y'all? Dez Bryant comes in for that workout on Tuesday. On Wednesday, he gets Twitter ablazed. He signs with the Saints.
Yes, indeed.
For the remainder of the season. For every Saints fan out there who's been tuning this to our live stream to the games, I appreciate everybody tuning from live stream, but can't do it no more. Facebook on to us. Ain't gonna happen. It's not happening no more, folks. For everybody tuning in, I appreciate it, but I can't do it no more. But we got a lot to talk about. We're going to open up this show like this. It's Dez Bryant. Was it a good sign in GSportz? Or is it trouble? What do you think? What is the case of Dez Bryant now signing with the Saints? Let's have a discussion, Saints fans. It's time to talk.
I was, when I found out they was bringing 3 receivers in to work out, A.K.A. was one of the receivers that came worked out. Brandon Marshall, Dez Bryant. Initially, I felt that Brandon Marshall would have been a better fit for the Saints. And it had nothing to do with the skill set and ability-wise. It had all to do with the locker room, personality, and just being able to be a leader out there for that young group of talented players that we got on that Saints team, because it's a very young team. So, Brandon Marshall's 34, and he's been around the block. He's mature. And when he first got in the league, he was a headache. But he figured it out.
In Denver, he's a little case, but he's a young player trying to make a name for himself.
Right. And he figured things out. He got mature, and he became a really good veteran player in those locker rooms that he's been in. Pete Carroll had nothing but good stuff to say about him. When he was at Seattle, he said it was unfortunate they had to cut him. Because something about they had to get it was another position they was lacking it. And they had to
bring somebody in. They had to make a decision at that position. He was the guy.
And he also said that they probably would bring Brandon Marshall back in a couple of weeks if need be. So, I wanted Brandon Marshall for those reasons. Now, when it comes to just talent, we all know that Dez Bryant has more left in the tank than Brandon Marshall at this point in his career.
Facts.
So
those are the facts.
So, we signed Dez Bryant. So when it happened, of course, I got excited about it. I think it's a good signing. If you don't know Cam Meredith, who we signed in the offseason from the Chicago Bears, is out for the season. He has to have knee surgery. Ted Ginn is out. Now, I don't know if Ted Ginn is out for the season, but he's on IR.
I think he's scheduled to come back. He's scheduled to come back. But it'll be at the postseason play if he is come back.
So there's a chance that Dez can come. It's a chance that Teddy Ginn can come back at some point in the season. But right now, we down to 3 receivers.
Facts.
We down to Traquan Smith,
Austin Carr,
and Michael Thomas. And now we got Dez Bryant. We don't even know if Dez Bryant gonna be up to speed to even play on Sunday at Cincinnati. So I thought that was a big sign to get him on board, because now you get somebody opposite of Michael Thomas. And this is the thing that I was telling people. Dez Bryant has accounted for 73 total touchdowns in his career.
That's still number 1 out of all wideouts in the NFL. People who don't know.
Call me crazy, but he knows how to find the end zone.
He's still number 1 since 2010.
Okay, and a lot of people want to say, Dez, he fell off the last few years and he can't get separation, and I hear all of that. But James Jones, the former Packer receiver, made a good point. He said, Dez Bryant has never been the type of receiver that gets a lot of separation in his routes anyway.
Big physical guy.
He's a physical guy.
Gets up to get the ball at the highest point.
That's a good 50-50 ball guy.
Yeah.
That's what he's always been in his career. He's a physical, imposing receiver.
He's never been a great, like a route run like a Mike Thomas is.
Right. And so, in Dallas the last few years, I think what contributed to him not being the same receiver that he used to be.
Now, a guy named Cody Rose says he's good at making drops. Good luck.
He led the NFL in drops last year.
Right.
What I think that contributed a lot to Dez's performance that went on a downward spiral the last few years was the fact that Tony Romo wasn't his quarterback anymore.
Agreed.
Dak Prescott came in, and they changed a lot, and they told Dak, look, we gonna predicate our offense to finding an open guy. We not gonna just throw 50-50 balls to Dez. We not gonna force the ball to Dez. We gonna take what the defense give us.
Right.
And that led to Dez Bryant numbers decreasing.
Declining.
Now, the last good season Dez Bryant had was in 2014, where he caught for 1,300 yards.
Yeah.
And he led the league with 16 touchdowns.
touchdowns.
That's when Tony Romo was his quarterback.
Yeah, facts.
The next year, in 2015, he got hurt. I think he only played like 7 or 8 games, so his numbers wasn't that good.
Right.
And then the next 2 years,
Dak Prescott was the quarterback.
Was with Dak Prescott, and his numbers was bad. Now, last year, he had 830 yards, 6 touchdowns. He led the league in drops. But I think that was more so about Dak not being on the same page with Dez and Scott Linehan not wanting to force the ball to Dez. More so than it is about Dez falling off and he's not the same receiver he used to be. I think this is a good signing. I think that you playing with somebody like Drew Brees who can throw you open and put you in spots. You got somebody opposite of you like Michael Thomas who defenses are going to bracket and Kamara coming out of the backfield. You got Mark Ingram. Drew Brees is a person that's going to understand coverages and understand how to get Dez the ball in good situations where he's good at. Sean Payton is going to dial up packages for Dez Bryant. That's going to put him in a successful situation. And I can't wait to see how Sean Payton is going to utilize Dez Bryant going forward. You got to think about this, man. When you got Michael Thomas on the opposite side,
who's the number 1 possession receiver to me in all of football?
Traquan Smith. And Ben Watson has been played very well for us.
Yes.
And you got to account for Kamara coming out of the backfield.
Correct.
And you got Dez Bryant on the backside by itself with their third best corner.
Not only that, but you also got to mention that Mark Ingram is still the third best, and Taysom Hill, who has an option in the offense.
I love the matchup if Dez got to go against that defense's third best corner.
I agree.
Because in the past 5-6 years he's been in the league, he's been getting the number 1 corner every season. Opposite side of him was Terrence Williams, Cole Beasley. Come on, man. No disrespect to them guys, but they're not on the level of Kamara.
They're not the level of Kamara or Mike Thomas.
Right. So this is the best situation that Dez Bryant could have ever got himself into. Right. And he must feel really good about the situation. We only signed it for 1 year, $600,000. And that $600,000 not even guaranteed. Now he got some incentives into where he can end up making a mill.
He make a mill.
But this is a low risk, high reward type of situation for the New Orleans Saints. I think it was a great signing. I think you see Dez Bryant, it take him about a couple weeks to get acclimated to the system. I think by the time you see us get to
week 13,
November 29th, when we go down to the Dallas, baby, we're going to play them Cowboys in Jerry World. I think you see this man be able to turn it on and get back to the old Dez Bryant that we used to seeing in 2014, because I'm telling y'all right now, Dez Bryant going against the other team's third best corner is one on bum, is mouse in the house, and I'm telling you right now, he's going to be the reason why we punch our ticket to Atlanta come February.
Ooh, listen.
I like the signing.
Listen. Larry Pena Jr. said he can be the next Eric Martin, sure hands, and the third down go-to guy. Listen, for people who tune in to FanView Live, I deeply appreciate everybody, man. This is the number 1 sports show on the internet. I keep telling y'all this. Got to tune in. Y'all seen the video I posted. I didn't. You seen this video? I didn't want Dez. I didn't want Brandon Marshall. I thought we was cool with the Austin Carter and the Traquan Smith. You seen my video. And I'm on the Switch 'em Up fans. We brought in Dez for a workout. Then when we signed him, I got the goosebumps. You know why I got the goosebumps, everybody who tuned in live? Let me tell you why I got the goosebumps. Because Drew Brees, as much as I love Mike Thomas, and I love what Marcus Colston did, and I love all these guys, I think Mike Thomas is one of the best possession receivers, that Drew Brees has ever had. He got good hands, he runs, he gets separation. I love all that. But Drew Brees has never had an athlete at the receiver position like a Dez Bryant. A guy who can average a 1,300-yard season, who can average 15 touchdowns. I'm not saying he's a 1,900-yard receiver. I'm not saying he's a 20-touchdown receiver. Right. But a guy who could get 1,300 yards, who could get 15 touchdowns a season. He's never had that kind of wideout. Right. And I've been looking for Drew Brees for at one point in time in his career to have a wide receiver of that caliber. Right. He has that type of wide receiver. Right. Now, granted, he's getting him in week 9, but GSportz, that don't matter, because you got a sure-handed number 1 target, a top 5 receiver, and Mike Thomas on the other side. And you got a Darius Bryant who's a physicality receiver who can impact the game if he makes a 30-yard catch. He feeds off of that. He's an every down receiver. What do you mean about that? He can play first down. He can go block for you. He's a guy that you can keep on the field in every situation. And the biggest thing about Dez is that he's coming to a situation where he don't have to be the lead of the team. Mm-hmm. Understand, folks, Tony Romo was an undrafted free agent quarterback who became a starter, who became one of the best, a top 5 quarterback all time for a Dallas Cowboy. Not a Hall of Famer, but for Dallas Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But Dez was drafted in the first round. Dez had to be a leader for that team. He doesn't have to be a leader here. There's structure. There's a structured head coach. There's a structured quarterback, a top 5 Hall of Fame of all time, like he said. Who doesn't want to play with Drew Brees? Dez Bryant can come in here and just be Dez. And leave all the attitude and the antics out.
And another thing is, too, man, people got to realize, think about how fresh he's going to be.
Yeah, he's fresh.
He didn't go through any training camp. He's coming in week 9.
He's fresh.
He just hit 30 years old.
He's fresh.
I think we're going to see a enthused, ready to go Dez Bryant. Like I said, I don't know if he's going to play this week against Cincy, but I think when he does come, I think we're going to see a very rejuvenated
Dez Bryant.
Dez Bryant. I think he's going to really help us. Now, with all that being said, do I think Dez going to come in here and catch 8-9 balls for 100+ yards? I'm not saying that. I think he's going to come in and make plays, though, for us here and there.
Right.
I think he's going to be one of those players that are going to come in here for us, and when we need a play, when they bracketing Mike Thomas or they trying to stop Kamara, and you leaving Dez Bryant one-on-one with your third best corner, he's going to be able to make that play. I think that's what he's going to be able to do for us. This I kind of put this signing up there with when the Patriots signed James Harrison last year.
Yeah.
Now, I think that Dez Bryant could contribute a little more than James Harrison, but I put it on that same level. I put it on that same level. When Rasheed Wallace signed, when he got traded to the Pistons that year in 2004, and that propelled the Pistons to win the finals against the Lakers.
It was that missing piece.
It was that missing piece. You know, and I think this is that kind of signing. And I'm going to tell you like this. Dez come in here act stupid if he won't.
He gonna get cut?
He come in act stupid. You come in here throwing your little tirade, slamming your helmet down, talking stupid, mumbling stuff under your breath. Sean Payton will put you on the first thing smoking back to Dallas.
It's the same situation where here's the thing. Here's what I love about the Saints organization right now. They have the same vibe of the Saints, of the New England Patriots. Mm-hmm. Meaning that Dez Bryant's in a situation where this team is 7-1 now without Dez Bryant. Mm-hmm. Dez Bryant comes signing with this situation. You know the physicality and the athleticism of Dez Bryant. But if Dez can't seem to understand, his role with this organization, if Dez get released, there's a lot of risk on Dez too. If Dez get released, it's the same situation where he'll be out of the league because this team has been productive without you. He will look like the cancer that people perceived media-wise or around the nation thought he was.
Exactly.
He can't be that guy. He has to be, because you're playing with a future Hall of Famer. Mm-hmm. That guy don't need you. That guy, each and every game throws the ball to about 9 different receivers. He distributes the football. He's a Hall of Famer. He's averaging 77% of his passing, G. Historic for people who don't understand that. So you got to get to a point to where Dez can just be Dez and he can leave all the attitude out, but he can have the energy in. Right. And I love it. Jonathan Diggs said, I think the Dez pickup really punts our ticket to the Super Bowl. He's speaking about the Saints. I don't disagree with that. Brandon Saunders says, act stupid like Adrian Peterson and you'll be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, you'll be gone.
I mean, look.
Yeah.
The thing about this situation, too.
Yeah.
I think Dez Bryant never respected Jason Garrett.
I agree.
I felt like he never really respected Dak Prescott when he came in as a rookie.
Agree.
I think that him and Jason Witten had a beef going on, like a kind of a competition thing.
Right.
Dez Bryant always said that he felt like they catered the offense to Jason Witten more than him.
Right.
So now you're coming into a situation where we're already set up for success. We're already in stride right now to be able to get to Atlanta for the Super Bowl. We're going to get there with or without you, Dez. Now, can you help to that success?
Right.
Hell yeah, you can. Because you are a gifted player, and the thing that you can do on the field, you just can't coach that.
Correct.
You got God-given ability to be able to go up, catch the ball at his highest point, be a physical, opposing receiver, and make people have the game plan for you. This is going to make the Saints offense even more potent. I'm telling y'all, I can't wait. Like I say, I don't think he's going to be acclimated to the offense until about
really by week 10. This is week 9 coming up.
Week 10, week 11.
I look at it like this.
That's how I feel.
I look at it like this. I remember when we traded a second-round pick for Jeremy Shockey. Now, granted, this is not a trade. But follow where I'm going here, folks. I wasn't a fan when we traded a second-round pick for Jeremy Shockey at the time when we did it. I was like, man, this guy is an energy guy, but he's shown that he was in New York. He's a lot of energy, a lot of passion, but is he worth the headache? But then at some point in time, you get a guy like that, Drew Brees to football, who got a target, who could get him in opening situations, and he could do something. That energy, that passion. For you to understand, Jeremy Shockey was a heck of a tight end a few years that he was down here in New Orleans. That original 88.
Played a big part.
Winning the Super Bowl.
Played a big part into that.
Big part into that. I'm looking at Dez, I'm saying, man, listen, I love the Saints offense. I love what the Saints offense can do. But, man, they got a guy who can bring an energy and a certain passion. Now, if he could leave the attitude out, but if he could bring that same energy and same passion like a Jeremy, I'm not trying to emulate the 09. See, this is a way different team. But, man, if you could bring a guy of that caliber, man, listen, they're the number 2 corner could guard Dez Bryant. In the league, they're damn sure the number 3 corner could guard Dez Bryant.
And that's the thing.
And that's the thing. If he could have that same energy, just the energy that you need, man. Like, this guy can make a play in the football. I mean, I'm talking about his impact. I'm talking about the guy who can make that 20-yard play, that 30-yard play. He's not gonna be a go to the house kind of guy. He's a guy who can, get open and physical. When all fail, man, you need to throw that back shoulder fade pay, Drew Brees. Man, look, there go Dez. Go find Dez Bryant. Get him involved in the offense. Get him going. Jose Carlos says use him like Jimmy Graham in the red zone. I don't disagree with that. Big physicality player.
Because at the end of the day, you can't shade a safety to both sides.
Right, you can't.
You can't. You're either going to shade him to Michael Thomas or you're going to shade him to Dez. And I'm telling you, whoever's matched up one-on-one is one on bump. And that's what it's going to be. And if you think that this is not going to give defenses problems going forward,
you're crazy.
You're sadly mistaken.
You're crazy.
I'm telling y'all now. Now, I will say this now. Sean Payton came out and said that Dez Bryant did come in a little heavy.
5 pounds overweight.
Now he's saying 5 pounds. It's really 10 pounds. So Dez got to shed about 10. I don't know if you need to go on a little keto diet. I don't know what you need to do, but you got to shed some of that body fat, Dez. I don't know what you've been doing since you've been sitting down for a few weeks.
Dez eating pieces.
You got to shed the 10 pounds.
He been eating pieces. He been in Miami with Le'Veon.
Get on your cardio. Get on your cardio, man. Get right. And I know it's gonna be hard down here in New Orleans with this good food.
Yeah, we got gumbo season around, baby. It's hard. It's hard.
You gotta get your body right though, Dez. We gonna need you. We gonna need you for this run, bro. And we about to make.
Listen.
I'm telling you now. I'm glad you're in the Big Easy though. We about to get this jury. Ring me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get your jury size.
Listen, Lewis. I can't pronounce the last name properly. He said fades, and obviously throwing fade routes to Dez. Yeah. I gotta agree with that, man. I gotta agree with that. Well, listen, we gotta shift gears. We gotta recap this game that just happened this past weekend. Saints, Rams, inside the Superdome. Y'all already know the Woods, the number 1 team coming in at 8-0. The Saints coming in at 6-1 at home. Man, what an epic game. First of all, game of the week, 3 o'clock game.
Should have been flexed to the night prime time game. But I know NFL, you didn't want to mess over Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I get it.
You want that epic moment. They wanted it.
You should have still flexed it.
Should have flexed it, but they didn't do it. So
you had to be in a better game than that game.
Yeah, you had the game of the week, 3 o'clock p.m. Central Time, New Orleans. Man, when the Saints come out there, man, and it was epic. From the start to the finish. You talking about touchdown. For the first half, I don't think they seen a punt. You had the Saints come down and score. You had the Rams come down and score. I don't think the first half they had a punt. That's how epic it was. First of all, at halftime, the score was about, 17-35? I mean, the Saints put up 35 points in the first half. The Rams come back in the second half, in the third quarter, make that charge to tie the game, 35-35. Then the Saints come out there with that field goal. Then they came out with that bad man, and Mike Thomas, who had a career game against Marcus Peters, who had 12 catches, 211 yards, man. GSportz, what's your take on the game?
Look, I was very impressed with the Saints, and I was very disappointed with the Saints at the same time. You know, we put our foot on their throat. We should have stomped on it, but we took our foot off the gas. We let these people come in the dome and score 20 unanswered points leading into the halftime. I was very, very disappointed with the Saints. And we got very conservative on defense. Dennis Allen started sending just 4-man pressure. We wasn't getting there. Jared Goff was back there patting. He was patting so long he could have sat there and made a peanut butter sandwich.
Jared Goff good now.
I don't care. You gotta say at least 5-man pressure this man. I was very disappointed with how conservative Dennis Allen got.
Marcus Davenport.
You gotta send 5-man pressure.
5-man pressure.
You gotta send 5-man pressure. He was padding back there.
Jonathan, listen, missing Davenport was big. I agree with Jonathan.
It was. And so I was very disappointed with that. And I'm gonna tell you something. McVay let us off the hook on Sunday. I'm gonna tell you why.
Ooh.
Ty Gurley could have really gashed us. I don't know what Sean McVay was thinking about. Gurley only had 13 carries.
Yeah.
For 68 yards and a touchdown. If they would have played their cards right, you would have kept riding that horse.
That's a horse.
That's a horse.
That's a horse.
Should have kept riding that horse, man. Gurley, we couldn't do nothing with Gurley. That first drive, when he got the ball, man, they didn't want to tackle Gurley.
No.
They didn't want to tackle Gurley. Gurley is a problem. Gurley is putting himself up there as being mentioned as arguably the best running back in the league. That combination of speed and power.
To me, he is.
He a problem.
He's 16 touchdowns in, G.
He like that.
He like that.
He like that. He like that. And so I think McVay let us off the hook by not really running him.
And you allowed how to use him against every team.
Yeah. And I know they got down, but even when the game was within reach,
it's a bad man.
He wasn't running him a lot. He kept dropping back Jared Goff.
Right.
And Jared Goff threw the ball 40 times.
It's a lot of times for Jared Goff.
Gurley got to get 20 or more carries every game. I'm sorry. He got to get 20 more carries. And I think that let us off the hook on Sunday. And so that was something I felt like that was a little disappointing for me, because you let these people score 20 unanswered points. That lets me know when we get in the playoffs that we can't hold a lead right now. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing we was in the dome, because I felt like we would have been on the road. It'd have been a serious problem for us.
Right.
Some telling stats for us that I think was key why we won this game. The Saints were 7 for 7 on third down.
Right.
2 for 2 on fourth down. You 7 for 7 on third down.
You 100%.
That's the money down.
100 down.
That's money
100%.
That's money down, man.
100%.
That lets me know that we were staying in drives.
Right.
That lets me know that when the stuff get tight and we need a big play, we can make it happen. And when you got somebody like Drew Brees, who is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL right now, the way he playing, he can get stuff like that done. 7 for 7 against that defense?
Yeah.
That says a lot. Drew Brees was phenomenal, man. 25 for 36, 346 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Again.
Some of the passes that he made in this game, it was incredible. It was something to behold. The pass he did when he play action and he threw it over the top to Ben Watson, it was just phenomenal. Drew Brees he keeps getting better and better. He's a damn technician. It's what he is. It's crazy.
He's the most accurate quarterback in NFL history.
He throws you open. It's crazy what he's doing right now. Michael Thomas had a career game, 12 catches, 211 yards, 1 touchdown. Marcus Peters, who was a top 5 corner in the league.
He looking like Eli Manning, bad.com.
Abused Marcus Peters on Sunday. Michael Thomas keeps cementing himself as one of the better receivers in the NFL, and I think he's approaching. He's approaching the Odell Beckhams, the Julio Jones.
Top 5.
The Antonio Browns. He's
Top 5.
He's not there yet.
Top 5.
But he's approaching it.
Well, listen. Y'all stay tuned. Producer, let us know. We got to take a quick break. We're going to get back to more Saints talk, Saints Rams. Y'all stay tuned. FanView, Real Fans Talk, Sports, New Orleans Talk Network.
Don't go
nowhere. We'll be back shortly. Get to some of these comments. Top 5.
Michael Thomas, man.
Michael Thomas?
He's trying to cement himself.
What?
What's up, everybody? This boy, Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHeyOU15.
Listen, this is your boy, Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook at Brandon Fred Jones, or you can follow me on Twitter at BFred Jones.
This is Jeremiah Gray, man, with GSportz. You can follow me on Facebook, Jeremiah Gray, A.K.A, and on Twitter, G_paid in full 08.
Pay me the money. money.
Hey, yo, what's up? It's your boy, DJ Slick Daddy.
This DJ Slick 514.
And of course, I'm your girl, Black Coco.
Tune into the Live Line, New Orleans Talk Network, every Tuesday, 7 to 8:30, with all the trending topics.
And you can also check.
Oh, how the time flies. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And can you believe that it has been 1 year since Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions hit your airwaves? We have interviewed authors, entrepreneurs, playwrights, musicians, and everyone in between, all to bring you the best in literary conversation. And we plan to do it again this year, but only better. So join us right here in the Literary Lounge each Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you there.
Well, everybody, welcome back, FanView, Real Fans Talk Sports. Again, don't forget to like our page, subscribe to our page. We got to add a new page, so hit the follow button on FanView Live. We deeply, deeply appreciate it. Share this page with as many fans as you have. This is the only time, folks, for us as fans get to talk sports. This is the only time we're going to do it from 6 to 8 p.m. each and every Thursday. Like the page, add the page. We deeply appreciate it. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube at FanView Live. And don't forget to check out my man, GSportz. Trying to get an update on that high school football, high school basketball. You got to check them out. Y'all got to check them out. I want to get to some of y'all comments, and we're going to get back to the Saints-Rams conversation. Michael Hollywood Williams says, Saints-Rams was a thriller. Pats Patriots was a snooze. I got to agree with that.
Big bet.
Brandon Sun said, do y'all see us bettering the defense, or is this it for the season? Good question. I'm going to get to the answer to that one now. Jonathan Diggs said, we played well, just hate we didn't get any sacks. Agreed.
I was getting to that.
Derek Johnson said, we won the LOS on both sides of the ball. He also mentioned that being down 35-17 played a big part in those carries not being limited, which you were referring to.
But when the game was close,
right.
The game was in reach, they still wasn't running.
They still weren't running, girls.
Listen, 13 carries?
That's not enough for Gurley.
Come on, man.
It's an MVP candidate. It's a bad
carries.
man. 16 touchdowns in the
season.
season.
And when he got the ball, he was gashing us.
Yeah.
Should have just kept riding that train.
Ryan Finch, love listening to the truth. Kenneth Williams II said, we did a great job holding Gurley, but the interception was a turning point.
Yeah, Anzalone.
Yeah. Boy, let me tell you something. That boy got some better hands than corners. You seen the pick?
Yeah.
That boy did this. It was all fingertips. That dude got some real good hands as far as catching the football. Kenneth Williams also says that the Saints need to run the ball more, quarterback spot on QBs. And he also says when the Saints beat Cincinnati and the Eagles, I'm going to cut up. Listen, it was a great game. Great game. But GSportz, talk about this man Mike Thomas, the game he's had, and the cell phone. Epic. I mean, Saints didn't get obviously we didn't get no sacks here. Obviously Marcus Davenport being a big issue. But what's your take on Mike Thomas and the celebration when he got in the end zone, him in the cell phone?
I loved it. It was good. It was a primetime game. That's what the viewers want.
I want it. I'm a fan.
Give the people what they want. Yeah, give them what they want. Give them what they want.
What they want?
Sean Payton, when Michael Thomas came to the sideline, if you look closely, it looks like Sean Payton's getting on it. But I'm going to tell you what I think was going on. I think Sean Payton was like this. Good damn job. That's how you want to shit on him. Yes. I'll make him. I think he was mumbling that under his breath.
Right.
He didn't.
Under the juicy fruit?
Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you what I was disappointed with. I was disappointed with Troy Aikman commentary. Troy Aikman, man. Why you kept talking about and harping on Michael Thomas pulling the cell phone out the goalpost? You kept saying you thought he was more professional and you kept talking about it. Troy Aikman, listen, bro. We're not living in the 80s and the 90s no more when you came up in.
Right.
We're living in the age where
Strahan was the same way.
Strahan mad because Joe Horn did it to them. That's why Strahan, look, go fix your gap. Okay? Go fix your gap. Okay? Why you worried about what we doing? Okay? You mad because Joe Horn did it on y'all. They put up 30-something points on y'all, and you felt played about it. So now Michael Thomas couldn't do it.
Right.
You feel some type of way. I thought it was great.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great for marketing his brand.
I thought it was great for the game. I thought it was making his brand.
Watch how you're going to see Michael Thomas is going to get some kind of endorsement off of that. He's branding himself. Michael Thomas came into the NFL and at Ohio State, he was a quiet, laid-back kind of person.
Right.
Whoever's in his corner or his agent is doing a great job.
Well, he recently terminated his previous agent last week.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's levels to this. He did a great job of terminating his past agent and getting somebody else. I forgot who he signed with. Right. But they're letting him know, look, bro, it ain't just about getting this check from the NFL. You got to get this money outside the NFL. You got to get it while you're hot. Let's think of something creative, something marketable to get you noticed and get you publicized throughout the NFL nation.
Here's my thing.
We're gonna put a cell phone in a goalpost.
When you find 2 flip phones, like who's selling flip phones in New Orleans?
Look.
What store selling the phones?
And then he came out and said he had cell phones in both of the goalposts.
Who's selling flip phones? I need to know who you are.
I'm glad it happened. It was good for football. It was good for the Who Dat Nation. When he did it, I lost my goddamn mind. I can only imagine how the people in the dome lost their damn mind. Joe Horn said as soon as he saw it, he went and bought him a Michael Thomas jersey. I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
I thought it was great. First of all, here's my thing, Michael Strahan. No one said nothing when y'all was balling, when y'all getting them sacks in New York. You remember that, G? Every time they got a sack. What did they do as a team? Celebrated.
Him and Yor.
And Matthias Kiwanuka. Yeah. Justin Tucker. Yeah. No one said nothing about that. But you're not thinking the guy's showing class. He's not showing sportsmanship. Let me say something, dog. Guys, I love the fact that he showed sports. He showed, first of all, it's not like he did it and Joe Horn wasn't another Saints receiver. He did it from a guy who he might admire, looking up, playing the game, in the game that he loves to play in the position.
I thought it was very creative.
I thought it was very creative. I thought it was very timely. I thought he did it at the right time in the game. It didn't affect the game. They was up by 10. They was going to go on him win this game. He didn't do it at a point where it didn't have any significant value.
And that was the thing that I said. Now, and people was asking me, like, man, G, you thought that was a good idea what Michael Thomas did? I said, bro, if he would have did that when the game was still within reach and the game was still close, within a tight game, right? Yeah, I'd have felt some type of way about it. When he scored that touchdown that put us up 10. What it was like 2 minutes left in the game. 20 seconds after going the game.
Right.
We knew the game was
over. That game was over.
So I had no problem with that. Listen, bro. Michael Thomas, have no problem with what you did, bro. You have a brand.
That's it.
You have to expose your brand. And you did a great job of that.
Right.
You're going to reap the benefits of that. You're going to get endorsements. You're a household name right now.
Facts.
And with all that being said, you finished the game with 211 yards receiving. You set a record.
Career high. As a Saint and as a career high.
I have no problem with what you did, my brother. Keep doing your thing. I hope you come in with another creative celebration when you come back home, when you play them Eagles in the week after next.
Now, Derek Johnson says, listen, Uncle Key loved it. Did you see the picture? I think I did see the picture. Kenneth Williams says Walmart. I think that's from where he got them cell phones from. Walmart probably don't own the store selling them damn cell phones. Camara being featured more and more, Jonathan Diggs says. I loved it. I found it very great. And listen, Kenneth Beard, who got a pick on Monday Night Football against the Titans, he did something. He ran into the star, you know what I mean? Like T.O. did. Mm-hmm. I like to see former players. I like to see new players have celebrations of what former players did. Listen, this is all entertainment, baby. And that man had a career day. He didn't do it in a day where he only had 1 catch and 12 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
No, we talking about a career day.
211 yards, baby.
211 yards.
Oh,
Stop.
Man.
I love it. I loved everything about it. And I love to see players show respect from other guys who they might admire. Again, because probably up to a few years back, Joe Horn was probably arguably, him and Eric Martin were probably arguably the 2 best Saints receivers that this organization has seen. Mm-hmm. So I loved it. I loved everything about it. I think as a fan, I appreciate it more. I love to see more what he can do. I love everybody. I loved everything about it. Joseph DeJean said, "Don't worry about the haters until we win that Super Bowl." And Darlene McCoy Prunette said, "Watching live." Yeah, I mean, I loved everything about it. I appreciated it. I love everything he had to do. Now look, it's only gonna get better because now you got a guy like Dez next to you who gonna create that attitude. Throw the Mex up. Throw out the Mexes.
Boy, it's gonna be rocking in the dome when we play the Eagles next week. Dez at home with them Who Dat Nation fans.
What?
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be lit.
And then after that, you go to Dallas. What?
And I will be in the building.
I will be in the building.
I'm gonna be in the building.
I got tickets. I'm in the building. I got my flight ready.
I'm gonna be in the building.
I need y'all to know.
Just saying. I'm just saying. But to go back to the Saints game, like I said, bro, we know what our offense can do. This is arguably a top 3, top 4 offense in NFL history, in my mind. Drew Brees
better than the 2011 offense?
Yes. What Drew Brees is doing right now is unprecedented. He has a 77% completion rate. If you don't understand what that means, go do some math. You in week 9 and you're 77% completion rate.
For people who don't know, the record is 72% for the season.
That's sick.
Set by Drew Brees.
That's sick.
He's
That's sick.
5% higher than that.
That's sick.
That is sick.
It's sick. It's ill.
That's sick. It's real ill.
It's ill, bro. And
it's ill.
This is why I really feel like we're set up for success and to win and go ahead and hold that Lombardi Trophy when it's all said and done in February down there in Atlanta, babe. Sean Payton is getting back to being balanced.
Yeah.
You know, on Sunday, we ran the ball 34 times. We threw the ball 36 times. You're not seeing it being 80-20 past the run.
Right.
It's kind of 50-50. And he understands that you have to utilize your running game. You have to. You got to keep people honest.
Right.
Even if the running game ain't working, you have to keep people honest. You know, we had 141 yards rushing combined with Taysom Hill, Kamara, and Ingram. I love it, the balance that we're showing. When you do things like that, it makes the D coordinator on that opposing team have a tough time to game plan for what we're going to do.
Facts.
And so I loved it.
Facts.
Kamara, you're always finding a way to get in the end zone. He had 3 touchdowns on the game. I love everything you did.
Second in the league underneath Todd Gurley with 12.
Kamara, you will get a nice payday when it's all said and done.
He has 12 total TDs
contract up, they're going to have to pay you, bro. Because you're turning into Marshall Faulk-like. I feel like that's the kind of player you are.
And you were the man who made me change my decision about drafting him.
Stay woke. So one of the things that I thought that was very discouraging about Sunday, we didn't get any sacks. Now, we had a few times where we was able to move Jared Goff off his spot, and that kind of contributed to when he threw the pick to Anzalone. We had a few times where we moved him off his spot where we got pressure on him.
Right.
We didn't get any sacks.
Jared Goff, he's a good quarterback now. He's a very good quarterback.
And McVay does a good job of showing him how to get the ball out of his hand very fast.
Agreed.
I just think that Dennis Allen and Sean Payton, they got to have a meeting. Okay, they got to have a meeting. If they ain't had it already, you got to send 5-man pressure at the least.
Who's the 5th guy you blitz? Do you send
Mario, Craig Robinson, alone. You have to send some 5-man pressure. We cannot rely on our front 4 to get there. Now, with that being said, Sheldon Rankins, I see you, boy. You emerging. You keep getting better and better. I mean,
you're getting better. I was down
the way you played on Sunday. You had some good plays. I mean, you didn't have any sacks, but you affected a lot of plays on Sunday. I mean, one time, man, he bull rushed. I forgot the offensive lineman for the Rams, number 76. He bull rushed him all the way to Jared Goff. Jared Goff started stumbling, and threw the ball. It sailed on him.
Right.
That's how much penetration that Sheldon Rankins got on that play. And
Agreed.
everybody know when you're at quarterback, the most pressure that you don't want to see is from the
up the gut.
You don't want to see that interior pressure. The interior pressure that messes you all up.
Yeah.
But we got to get more pressure on the quarterback. I think Dennis Allen has to get a little more aggressive. Y'all saw P.J. Williams on Sunday. He gave us some plays, but he made some plays. I'm telling y'all right now, stop riding my dog, P.J. Williams.
You know I'm riding him hard.
P.J. Williams.
He's part of the Burn Unit Hall of Fame.
P.J. Williams is one of those players. He's solid. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? And you gotta understand, in this league, it's hard to play corner. It's hard, man.
Because your average receiver is better than your average.
You can't touch him like you used to.
Right.
It's hard. You're going to get some of the best athletes in the world. I like P.J. Williams, bro. Am I saying he's a lockdown corner? That's not what I'm saying, by no stretch of the imagination.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying he's very solid. And I think P.J. is going to get better and better. It's all about confidence with P.J. If P.J. playing with confidence, he going to make plays. Eli Apple, the same thing. Lattimore, I think Lattimore going to do what he do. Lattimore has shown that he's a top 10, top 7 corner in this league.
Right.
He's showing that. Marcus Williams, he didn't have a good game on Sunday.
He didn't.
He did not have a good game on Sunday.
He had the touchdown to Brandon Cooks in the back of the end zone. Yeah, he didn't have a good game.
He had a couple mishaps. The play with the backup running back, what it was, Howard.
He tried to dive at him. He kind of hopped over. He scored. He gave up 2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Howard made a super athletic play and got in the end zone right like that. But Marcus Williams, you got to make that play. You cannot give up them kind of plays, and that's kind of stuff that come back and bite you.
Correct.
When you're trying to be on a quest to win a Super Bowl. So, but
agreed.
With all that being said, I like the overall team performance. Even though we gave up 35 points, I think our defense played solid.
That's the Rams. The Rams, that team going to be able to do that.
We was a bend but don't break defense on Sunday. We was stingy, but we still gave up a lot of yards. We took our foot off the gas. But like I say, going forward, I just hope that Dennis Allen, he has to not be so conservative. He has to send a little more pressure. I'm not saying you gotta be blitz heavy, but sometimes you gotta send a little 5-man, 6-man pressure. You gotta get exotic, move people around.
And it can't always be on a third down situation. You gotta be in a situation where on a second down, send somebody.
You gotta switch it up. And I think going forward, Sean Payton understands that because he said he kind of alluded to it in the press conference that he feels like they need to send more pressure. I think you're gonna see that get corrected going forward. Going forward against the Bengals, they don't have A.J. Green. So
good receiver, 1,000-yard receiver every year except 2016. Hall of Fame caliber receiver.
So, but with all that being said, I think that we still have to get into the norm of sending some type of pressure at Andy Dalton on Sunday. We want to go in because that's a trap game. And win that game.
Now Kenneth Williams says I feel like every field goal kicker that missed a kick in the dome is because Tom Benson. He's walking that dome for success.
He into existence.
Right. And Jonathan Diggs says, give it up to the O-line, not giving up a sack, and back to week 2.
Jonathan, listen, bro.
Facts.
Listen, I tweeted about it.
Wow.
The offensive line should have got the game ball. Did you see the pocket that they created for Drew Brees on Sunday?
Aaron Donald didn't have a sack.
Man, it was a clean pocket on Sunday. Now, Fowler got some pressure a couple times.
Yeah.
But for the most part, man, our offensive line did a phenomenal job creating a clean pocket for Drew. Drew had all day tomorrow to throw the ball.
But that defensive line with Brockers, Sue, and Aaron Donald, and Littleton, who could come in on a blitz, you know what I mean? It was an excellent display by that offensive line.
That's a great point.
That's a great point.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, great point.
Our offensive line. I gotta say, man, I think our offensive line top 3, top 5
in the league.
In the league, hands down. I mean, Ramshack, Larry Wolford did a great job blocking Aaron Donald. Larry Wolford, Paula Thomas not catching up with you. Armstead, you did a great job. Pete did a good job. You know Unger gonna hold his own. I ain't even know Soup lead. That's a good job. Unger did
him or Brockers. You couldn't tell him or Brockers.
We did a good job against that front four.
Yeah, we did.
We did a good job.
Now, Derrick Johnson says PJ physically and not scared to come up and later wood. His confidence is getting higher every game.
It's all about this. It's all about confidence with PJ Williams.
Now, I want to switch gears a little bit, folks. Super Bowl time. We talk about Saints in the Super Bowl. Talk about the AFC. Do y'all think that Patriots will be at that Super Bowl? Do y'all think the Kansas City Chiefs? Is it time for the Saints and the Patriots to finally meet for all the marbles? We're down in Atlanta this year. Obviously, we know Atlanta fans don't like Saints fans, and obviously Atlanta fans don't like Patriots fans because they lost Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
We're sure going to take over y'all city.
So, is it that time, folks? Is it that time when the Saints, with a guy like Drew Brees, who is arguably one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, go against that bad man and Tom Brady for all the marbles? Is it that time that we reach that point where, hey, listen, it's time for Drew Brees and Tom Brady, teams, organizations?
What they 1-1 all time?
Yeah.
They 1-1.
1-1.
When we went to New England, we lost.
They came down here in the Super Bowl year, we beat them.
Yeah.
So
we 1-1 against.
We talking about 2 of the best quarterbacks in the game. You know, obviously Tom Brady being the most accomplished, Drew Brees being the most statistical accomplished. You know what I mean, as far as winning games. Is it that time when we think these 2 teams need to meet up for all the marbles?
I think that, far as what the NFL wants and what the NFL needs, far as rating wise and just giving the NFL a lot of publicity for the Super Bowl, if the Saints meet up with the Patriots or the Chiefs, I think it's gonna be box office.
Box office.
It's gonna be box office.
Big time.
Because you know Drew Brees and that offense gonna put up points, and then you add Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
Who gonna add to the media day and just
they traded for Josh Gordon.
Add to the storyline.
Yeah.
They got Josh Gordon. You know what I'm saying? Then if it's the Chiefs, Kareem Hunt. Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes, the rookie.
Right.
It's Andy Reid. It's a lot of different things that is gonna add to the storyline.
Right.
And that's what it's all about. Because you want to have a storyline. If you don't have a storyline, nobody's gonna tune in. It's all about ratings. It's all about money. It's all about the network getting ratings.
Now, Kenneth, I like his comments. Jonathan did say it's definitely time. Ja'Cory Harris said yes. Kenneth Williams says it's time for Drew to be seen as the real GOAT. Brandon Saunders says Chiefs and Saints. man, I think I would love to see a Saints-Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Because I think it's finally time for a guy like Drew Brees, and what he's accomplished as a player. Statistically, he's on all these records. My completion percentage, total yards. You know, we talking about every record now. But for crying out loud, he broke a record this year, and they stopped the whole damn game. Stopped the whole game. We talked about that, G. Stop the game.
With good reason.
With good reason. With damn good reason. Most yards in NFL history. It's time for that guy to get to the Super Bowl. And I think he needs to face a guy of Tom Brady's caliber in that organization. Because understand this here. Let me tell you something that makes us big back us. Bill Belichick, Sean Payton. That's box office. Drew Brees, Tom Brady, box office. You know what I mean? How the Patriots defense is going to scheme against the Saints offense. Box office. How Tom Brady is going to move the ball down the field against that Saints defense. Box office. We got so many things that's going to define coaches and players' careers in the Super Bowl. Tom Brady, already 40 plus. Drew Brees, 39. 2 historic quarterbacks to ever play the game. We talking about box office. Box office. You see what I'm saying?
And I'm going to tell you this, too. How fitting would it be for Drew Brees to go ahead and meet up with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl and win it?
And win.
Right? So now he has 2 Super Bowl wins against
Peyton Manning
and Tom Brady. What does that say about your legacy? So that would be big time.
Big time.
And don't talk about if he cap it all with an MVP for the league.
Can we say number 1 all time? Can he be in the argument?
I mean,
can he be in the argument?
Look.
Can he be in the argument?
Look. I ain't gonna say he would surpass Brady if he did that, but he's definitely gaining on him. He's definitely.
Well, we talking about a guy
he's definitely getting close to above water.
If we talking about a guy, now granted, for people who don't know, Drew Brees is not, having this passing yards typical season. Normally, Drew Brees is number 1 right now as far as total passing yards. He's not. He's not even in the top 8. But man, Drew Brees is having 17 touchdowns, 1-1 pick. Man, we talking about some 77 completion percentage. Again, we talked about that a few minutes ago, G. I don't know. Let that swirl around your head for a second. The record is 72% on the season. And that's owned by Drew Brees. Matter of fact, Drew Brees owns the past 3 records for his completion percentage in the league. He could own another one this year. And that's an record that, to me, if you had to ask me for a guy who had to throw the amount of attempts he had, I don't think a record that'd be touched.
Yeah.
That's how well you talking about you watching history and Drew Brees. Statistically, and a guy like Tom Brady, who's the most accomplished at his position, a guy who's played in the most Super Bowls at his position, the organization, the Bill Belichicks, they run the game, they run their organization like the Spurs of basketball. That type of organization facing a guy like Drew Brees in Atlanta, where the Atlanta's don't like the Saints, and they don't like the Patriots now, going down for all the marbles, settling everything. See, to me, that type of game will settle a lot.
Yeah.
It was settle. I know the Chiefs are having a great statistical season. When you look at Mahomes, you look at Kelsey, you look at Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins and Kareem. I get it, but it doesn't solve. It doesn't solve to me as a fan. Like, man, does it solve? Is Drew Brees the GOAT and all the marbles? When you see him had to play the Patriots at this time in his career with the offense that he has, and the team that he has, and the team that Tom Brady has, Gronkowski be back, Sonny Michel gonna be back, Dante Hightower gonna be back, They still got Devin McCourt. They got a very good football team. And they're going to be well prepared and well coached. Man, I would love to see a Super Bowl between the Saints and Drew Brees, especially if Drew Brees gets the MVP.
That would definitely be box office.
That's box. I think that Super Bowl there will outrate any Super Bowl in the history of. I know it's been going. But I'm talking about another level. I'm talking about man, I don't think you really don't want to sit down, because everything is going to be historic. Every play is going to be historic. Every play going to feel like a lifetime, because you've never seen 2 guys of that caliber have to settle it all. Because you feel like whoever wins that game is truly, historically, the best quarterback in the history of the game. That's what I mean. I think that game solves that conversation. Because you got Drew Brees, who owns the most completion percentage, the most yards, who's up there in touchdowns. You talking about a guy who's up there in all these statistical stats. But Tom Brady is the most accomplished. He's played in most Super Bowl. He probably got the most wins as a quarterback. You talking about a Patriot team that wins 12 games a year. And you feel like it's in the coaching between the two. Man, it will solve so much. I mean, it's going to solve a lot. I think it can't get more box office.
That would be ideal.
It'd be ideal.
But super ideal.
It'd be ideal. I would love to see that. I'm going to read a couple of comments, and we're going to shift gears a little bit. Brian Song said, Brees is better than Brady, plus no clout over his winning Deflategate. listen, man. Listen. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Deflategate, at the end of the day, the game still got to be played. Players still got to catch the ball. Obviously, to me, I don't know if the coach had the same type of balls. At the end of the day, they got their ass whipped. At some point in time, you got to recognize the school. The coach got their ass whipped. It was like 45-7. At some point in time, listen, football still has to be played. For crying out loud, the Patriots caught a pick in that. The coach caught a pick in that damn game. I remember that game. At some point in time, the Patriots ran the ball. They did other things to score 45 points. They lost. I'm not blaming that on footballs. They got outplayed and they got outbeat. That pigskin wasn't the reason why they lost. They got outcoached. We are I can't think. I don't know if Jim Caldwell was the coach at the time or was it Chuck Picano, but him and Andrew Luck were in over their heads. They got far. Yeah. That was great. They got their ass whipped. That's what it just boiled down to. Kenneth Williams says Saints will be roaming all through Atlanta and playing in our dome.
They ain't gonna like that.
They ain't gonna like that.
We're gonna paint the city black and gold. Black and gold to the Super Bowl. I'm telling y'all now, man, punch a ticket. Look, I don't want to count my eggs before they hatch, but I'm big on speaking things into existence. Power of the tongue, man. I'm telling y'all right now, punch a ticket to Atlanta, man. Take off that weekend.
Oh, I got to be in the building. They play the Patriots, I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
I'm in the building. They play the damn Lighthouse of the Blind. I'm in the building. The Saints go win the Super Bowl this year. I'm telling y'all, I feel it. I got the same feeling I had in 09. I'm telling you.
It's feeling like Christmas. Get that hardware, get that jewelry. Everybody gonna start spending a little something. But listen, I want to switch gears. I know you're still talking about Saints 4, and it's really exciting. But we got to talk about, unfortunately, the Cowboys. Got to shift a little gears. For people who don't know, the Dallas Cowboys lost again on Monday Night Football, coming in after a bye. They lost to the Tennessee Titans. A lot of press conference between Jerry Jones and, what's going on with the organization. That may be getting an extension. But here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys is not used to being in a below 500 team. Do you think Jason Garrett's on the hot seat? Should Jason Garrett be fired as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
I think Jerry Jones should get the team taken from him.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think he should get the team taken from him. He doesn't know how to run the organization.
It's a big-time statement.
It's bad. What they did to Dez Bryant was just atrocious. It's ridiculous what he's doing. I just think that Jerry Jones he just give the team up to his son Stephen Jones, which I think Stephen Jones has a great football mind. I think he can do a great job running the everyday operations of the Cowboys.
Right.
But Jerry Jones is just in over his head. They think Dak is a franchise quarterback.
I don't know where you get that from.
You're sadly mistaken. Dak came into a great situation with the best offensive line in the league, with a great running back.
At the time, yeah.
With a great running back, he was put in a good situation. But he's not set up to be your franchise quarterback. And I think that, Jason Garrett is a puppet. And I think that anybody that gets hired with the Cowboys under Jerry Jones is going to be a puppet. He wants to be able to dictate to you what goes on an everyday basis, who played in a game. He wants to come on the field, tell you when to go for it on 4th down, tell you who to give water to, tell you when to call a timeout.
Right.
Man, you're bad. You need to get in a damn press box and stay there and let your coaches coach. Stop trying to be a micromanager, man. You're bad, and you've been bad. And that's why your team only won 2 playoff games in the last 20 years. It's terrible.
23 to be exact.
23 years.
23 to be exact.
And so, Jason Garrett, you need to be fired. I think you'll be an excellent coordinator. Some people are just not out to be head coaches, and you're one of them. You need to get out of Dallas. I know you're miserable. You come out on these press conferences, you try to act like you're so happy and you feel like you're so happy-go-lucky. Stop it. I know you're miserable. Anybody be miserable if you getting micromanaged and somebody dictating to you everything that goes on on an everyday basis. You need to get out of there. Whoever takes that job is going to be a puppet until Jerry Jones gives it up to his son Stephen Jones. It's the same reason why Jimmy Johnson didn't stay with the Cowboys. They won back-to-back Super Bowl. Why wouldn't he stay? Why would he leave and go to Miami? It's because Jerry Jones wanted to call the shots. Jerry Jones wanted to tell him who to play. Jerry Jones wanted to tell him how to call play. Jerry Jones wanted to tell him who to draft. Man,
Jerry Jones wanted all the credit.
Stay your tail up there in the skybox. stay in the skybox with Simon. Stay up there with Simon, man. And do your thing. Eat your popcorn, drink your little Chardonnay, and have fun with your people. Stop trying to be a coach. Be an owner, man. Handle the general manager stuff or everything you want to do, but let your coaches coach. And that's why the Cowboys ain't going to never get to what they need to get to until Jerry Jones, and I hate to say it, until he turned over in his grave.
Listen, Derek Johnson says Jerry don't care about winning as long as the tickets and jerseys are selling. I don't disagree with that.
He won't win. He want to win.
He want
to be in the spotlight.
He want to be in the spotlight. Here's the thing. If you've seen my Twitter video, you see my YouTube video, you see me on Facebook. Let me break down the Cowboys roster for y'all again, because a lot of Cowboys fans came in my hat about my videos, so I'm going to break it down for y'all again. And I want you to tune in and leave your comments. Let's talk about your roster. Your offensive line is injured and inconsistent. Lionel Collins playing tackle. Teron Smith is injured. Your center, had some medical condition. Is inconsistent and is injury prone. Quarterback, average. Dak Prescott is a starter at best, but he's not a franchise QB. Right. Obviously, don't listen. Follow him at Mississippi State. I'm not saying he's a bad person, but I'm just saying that he's a 4th-round pick for a reason. He's developing, but he's not a franchise QB. You got an all-pro running back in Ezekiel Elliott. Your receiving core, overrated. Cole Beasley is a good slot guy. That's the best he can be. Can never be number 1, number 2. Terrence Williams. Listen, this ain't Baylor. And Amari Cooper, you done gave a first round pick for. Listen.
That just going to show you right now how bad Jerry Jones
is.
You have a first-round pick for Amari Cooper. Don't get me wrong, Amari Cooper's a good player.
Yeah. But
I'm not giving him a first-round pick for Amari Cooper.
I'm just not doing it. It's not happening.
Stop it, man.
Stop it.
You're bad.
You're bad.
You're bad.
You're bad.
You're bad.
Your receiving core.
You've been bad.
Your receiving core overrated. The D-line, it's good. You got Taco Charleston. Obviously, you got Randy Gregory. You got Damari Lawrence. You got a good defensive line.
Irvin out for the season, ain't he?
Irvin out for the season.
One of their best defensive linemen.
Yeah.
We going to gas them on the 29th.
So
I'm telling y'all, we going to gas them on the 29th.
Bad. The linebacking core, you got Jalen Smith, who's one good, healthy linebacker, and the other one's a concussion protocol, season by season. And Sean Lee.
Sean Lee, you need to call it a career.
Call it a career.
You can't stay healthy. You're not durable.
You're not durable.
You're not durable.
And for last but not least, your best secondary player is playing corner and receiver opposite every year. Byron Jones, 1 year he's at corner, next year he's at safety. He's all over the field. Now, granted, I'm a Michigan man and I love me some Jordan Lewis. But at the end of the day, he's a good slot guy. He can go play a good zone. But listen, your best secondary guy is moving around for this position season by season. And you have no special teams. That's the Dallas Cowboys. So here's my question. If you find Jason Garrett, who's coming coaching this team? It's not Dallas fans bother me. You act like you have an all-pro roster that can be Super Bowl bound. You don't.
I will throw a name out there that I think that will be a good box office name and probably will get people excited down there in Dallas. If Nick Saban takes Alabama to the national championship and they win it, I think Nick Saban needs to really consider coming coach the Dallas Cowboys. Now, that would be something to behold. That would be something to watch. I think they would have season tickets sold out. Everybody come to see it. Now, will he be successful? I don't know, because Jerry Jones going to be breathing on his back, trying to micromanage it, but I'm sure Saban would take the job until they had that conversation.
I don't think Saban would take that job.
There's nobody else in the league.
If I'm a head coach, and I'm a good head coach, I'm not taking that job. It's not a good job. Because I got Jerry Jones. You're a puppet. You're a puppet. Now, here's the thing. Now, speaking of the college ranks, I'm going to stay in the college rank, and I think there's another college coach that should take that job. And he's right there in the state above. See that guy in Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma? I think Lincoln Riley will come in there and be a good puppet for Jerry Jones. I think he's seen Sean McVay out there over there.
He doesn't have enough NFL experience.
I don't disagree with that. But I'm just saying he's a good puppet that I see that he could come on in there and say, listen, I got Lincoln Riley. He's a good profile guy at Oklahoma. He got a good type of offense. Man, I'm going to bring Lincoln Riley in. It's a big splash, big name. And I want to.
I don't think it's a big name.
I think it's big playing.
It's not going to get Cowboy fans excited. It's not going to make me terminate my cable bill. They're going to give me a season ticket Cowboys because he's a coach. Now, if Nick Saban, if I'm in Dallas, I'm a diehard Dallas fan, right?
Right.
And my priorities are all messed up in life. and Nick Saban gets the job, I'm not paying my cable bill. I'm probably going to go and not pay my insurance. And I'm going to get season tickets for the Cowboys. But if Ligon Riley come and get that job from Oklahoma, I'm going to keep my cable and I'm going to keep my insurance. Come on, man. You got to get somebody in the box office in there, man. This is Dallas, the Dallas Cowboys. This is supposed to be America's team. This is supposed to be one of the most polarizing teams in all of football. So you got to get a name in there. Nick Saban would be that name.
Now, Derrick Johnson.
Nick Saban is the only person that would make me consider my priorities.
Now, Derrick Johnson said, "Listen, I heard Oklahoma Lincoln Riley name, and Jonathan Diggs says, did we dodge a bullet for not trading for Malcolm Butler?"
He did get roasted. He have been getting roasted.
Getting roasted.
Malcolm Butler.
Getting roasted.
You be getting roasted.
Roasted.
Hey, you can't stop a nosebleed.
You're bad. Yeah.
He be getting roasted. I forgot who that was. Made him look bad Sunday. It went viral. Damn, I can't remember.
I think it was Cooper who caught a touchdown on him.
Who?
I think it was Amari Cooper.
No. It was Allen Hurns.
Yeah, Hurns.
Allen Hurns hit with a double move. Allen Hurns hit with a double move, and he looked like he was window shopping at Zales. That's how bad he looked.
Listen.
He got stuck.
Listen. I think that we dodged the bullet. I think he's a good football player overall, but I think that you can make plays on Malcolm Butler. Listen, I don't have amnesia. I remember the Super Bowl when Taylor Gabriel hit that ball to route, and that boy broke his ankles, and he flipped and tossed and turned in the Super Bowl. Listen. Malcolm Butler, I think we did dodge a bullet there. I think he's a good football player, but I don't think he like that, where, that when the teams pay for the big money for him. Yeah, right. Jonathan, we dodged a bullet. I agree with that. They dodged a bullet. Now, granted, you got Eli Apple. Ken Crawler is not healthy yet. P.J. Williams is having better weeks. Obviously, these past 2 weeks, he's been getting better and better and better. But then we did, because I think what we had to give up for Malcolm Butler, I think we dodged the bullet. I think they got a serviceable guy in Eli Apple who can come in and time can do the job I think we need him to do. But Jonathan Diggs says, is Mark Ingram becoming a forgotten man?
Who?
Mark Ingram.
Listen, I'm sorry to tell y'all, but I'm going to break the news. Mark Ingram days are numbered in New Orleans. I'm sorry to tell y'all.
That's facts.
Listen, I like Mark Ingram.
That's the facts.
I think he did a good job for us.
That's the facts.
And I think he's a good person. I think he has a great personality.
Yeah.
I think he's passionate, but he's
numbered.
He's about to be out of here.
He's numbered.
Not going to pay him what he wants to get paid.
No.
I think we're going to use that second round pick that we got on a running back and replace Mark Ingram. And Kamara and whoever they draft is going to be the 1-2 punch. I mean, I just think that, Mark Ingram, for what he's going to want to get paid, he's just not worth it, And I think he's living in a fantasy world.
Listen, he had 9 carries for 33 yards this past game. That's the stats.
And a crucial fumble.
That
could have led to them taking the lead against us.
Yeah.
And
So when you start looking at that situation, I like him. I call him Ice Chest. People who follow me on FanView Live, dead string games. I think he's a hard-nosed runner. But is he better than Kamara? No, he's not that guy. And I think that I'm not saying you could just find a running back to replace Mark Ingram. What I am saying is that in time you can. There's a lot more backs of Mark Ingram's caliber in the NFL than there are Alvin Kamara's. There are not many Alvin Kamara's in the NFL, but there are many Mark Ingrams in the NFL. Mm-hmm. I mean, a healthy Chris Ivory can be what Mark Ingram is.
Right.
And that's the deal. You look at certain guys that you can find a thumper. Mm-hmm. You can find a guy who can give you 15 carries and 80 yards and a touchdown or 2. Mm-hmm. You can find that guy. I can't find a guy who can give me 3 total touchdowns like Alvin Kamara can.
Right.
You can't find that guy. And so, is he gone? Is he the forgotten man? Not really, but he's gone after this year. The Saints will come back and offer him a 3-year deal, $9 million. He can like, man, look, I'm trying to get near Deontay Freeman money, and they're like, well, that's $8 million a year. I can't help you.
Look, I'm all about people getting their money. Mark Ingram, look, if you can go to the Jets or go sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers, if they don't get Le'Veon Bell back, go get your money.
Green Bay.
But in New Orleans,
your
job is over.
Your job is over.
It's over, man. You did a good job, and we liked you.
Listen,
but,
it's
time to move on.
Listen, you can go to San Fran, get paid. You can go to the Colts and get paid. There's a few teams that you look at that cap space. I mean, I've looked at some of the cap spaces. I think the Buffalo Bills can get paid. I think they're going to move on from Shady McCoy. Listen, there's going to be a market for Mark Ingram. But I'm telling you, in the Saints uniform, he's a $3 million back.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Yeah. And after that, you're like, listen, man, go get paid.
Yeah.
I have nothing against you. Go get your cheese. You got a family support. You got a life to take care of. Nothing wrong with you not staying in New Orleans, but listen, especially no offense to anybody, especially if the team wins that Super Bowl. Even if they get there, you got to realize the fact that you can't. You, as a fan, you're thinking that you re-sign that guy, get that guy back in uniform.
Right.
No. He did his job. The team won, the organization won the Super Bowl. They're going to plan to move on from him anyway. You just move on like you was planning on doing. Yeah. Demetrius Evans says, we good fellas. Metairie in the building. Okay.
Metairie.
Metairie.
Man, what school you went to?
Rummel.
East Jeff?
Rummel.
They said it?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Probably went to East Jeff.
Could have went to Grace King. You know that?
I went to Grace King. Moving on.
LSU. Got to talk about y'all. Saturday night, we had high hopes. I had $100 on LSU. I bet it.
Yeah.
When I followed,
threw your light bill money away.
Threw my light bill money away. I bet it. I had high hopes. They had a lot of expectation, a lot of build-up, a lot of former players coming to LSU. I'm listening to Ryan Clark. I'm listening to the media. I'm getting all built up. Like I'm a fan, G. But when the game started, I had bets out there. People sitting following me on Facebook. I had $50 bets out there. I betted my man Damian Jacobs. I betted a guy, a co-worker at work, and I betted a few others. Cash app and all, G.
Well, you feel like donating, huh?
I was donating.
Damn.
I got built up. I was all into, man, the LSU offense, and Joe Barrow's going to manage the game, and I'm looking at Greedy Wiz, I'm looking at Grandel Pitt, I'm looking at, man, second half of the game close, you got Devin White coming, and I'm looking at all these things. And then when the game kicked off, my soul was taken. I mean, LSU's down with 13-0, 16-0 at a half. Devin White comes back, doesn't make a difference. You missed the field goal. You try to put points in the board, not get goose egg, it didn't matter. You end up losing 29-0 at home in Tiger Stadium. I mean, Tua had the most passing attempts in his career in 41 passing attempts. He threw for over 300-some yards. So, to me, locking down all the odds, unless some significant injury happens, of a Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, Derek, you gave your money away. I was donating. Coach O, what's your take on LSU? Is LSU overrated, GSportz?
I don't think they overrated. I just think they went against a team that's just like that. They went against a team that's just very imposing, very talented on both sides of the ball, in the trenches, man. It just wasn't fair.
Right.
Quentin Williams, the D tackle.
Quentin Williams.
For Alabama, number 92. If you didn't watch the game, this dude, only a sophomore.
Right.
This dude is unbelievable. Finished the game with 10 tackles, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for losses. He was disruptive all night long. Nobody on LSU offensive line wanted to touch him or block him, for that matter. It was ridiculous how much he was in the backfield. I mean, it was almost like he was at a corner store and he was selling snacks. That's how much he was in the backfield looking at Nick Brissett and Kyle Hellis. He left.
He was unblockable.
It was that bad. He was man, he made a case for himself to be a top 10 pick next year. Now, with that being said, Tua had his worst game of the season. He still made some plays and had a good game, but it was his worst game of the season. Tua completion percentage was like 80%, 78%.
Like 50%.
Throughout every game he played this year. But on Saturday, he was 25 of 42, 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. Now, he started the game all pretty bad. Around them, did a good job getting after him. One time he got hit real hard. I thought he was gonna be out the game. He got carried off the field. Right. It looked like he was a little woozy or something like that. They did a good job hitting him early. But Tua came back in there and went to the storm.
Yeah.
And showed that, look, man, y'all can hit me. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna show y'all that y'all can't stop me. And y'all can't mess with me. Bama rushed for 281 yards.
Najee Harris,
the two Harris brothers. These people rushed for 281 yards. They averaged 7.6 yards a carry.
Yes.
And I think that was more so about LSU offense was so bad that they kept putting their defense, the LSU defense back on the field. And they just got wore down. They just got wore down, and Alabama just took advantage of it. I mean, Alabama ended the game with 576 yards total offense. And I don't think it was because LSU defense not good.
Right.
I just think that LSU offense was so bad and atrocious that they just kept going 3 and out.
Time of possession.
Turned the ball over, and it just gave Bama offense back the ball. So this is a telling stat. LSU rushed the ball 25 times and only got 12 yards. They averaged 0.5 yards a carry.
I'm about to say, it's 0.5 yards a carry.
On Saturday night. I mean, that is very telling. Okay? I think it was a combination of the offensive line is very young. I don't think they bad. I just think they're very young.
Yeah.
And it was a combination of Nick Brissett, Kyle Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
No disrespect, but y'all not what LSU is used to at running back.
It goes back to what you said that you didn't think there was SEC talent.
Yeah, I you know, and it showed up on Saturday.
Right.
25 carries for 12 yards. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
I think a D1 AA school could come in and get more yards than that against Alabama. Joe Burrow used 18 for 35, 185 yards, 1 interception. I mean, you didn't have no time to throw the ball all night. You was running for your life. And so, you know, I'm not going to put too much blame on you, but I think it's more so about what Alabama had up front on the offensive line, the defensive line, versus that LSU didn't have the talent or a good game plan.
Right.
It wasn't that. I just think when it came to the trenches, Alabama just was too imposing. It was too imposing. They couldn't block Alabama D-line at all.
Williams couldn't, number 92, couldn't get blocked.
Alabama offensive line just did what they wanted to LSU defensive line once you got to the second half because they was on the field too long. Jerry Jeudy, who was the best receiver in the nation, if you haven't been watching this kid from Alabama, number 4, he's the best receiver in the nation. I think this kid has a chance to be better than Julio Jones. That's how I feel. He had 8 catches for 103 yards. He like that.
Better than Julio.
His route running is sick. His yards after the catch is unbelievable. He catches everything.
I understand you say better than Amari. But better than Julio?
Yeah, he's only a sophomore. He has to come back now. Jerry Jeudy has to come back.
The Dre's Julio? Number 8 Julio? Alabama?
I think Jerry Jeudy has a chance to be better than Julio Jones.
Julio.
When it's all said and done, that's how I feel.
Okay.
But, and Orgeron said it in a press conference, man. He said they have to recruit better on the offense and defensive line. He knows they got dominated up front on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And that's where the game was won at.
Right.
And Saban said after the game, man, they came out and they wanted to prove something because everybody kept saying Alabama ain't play nobody. And this is a tough place to play. They wanted to come out and prove something. And, man, they didn't do it. They came out and won 29-0. They goose-egged them people.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
LSU was terrible on Saturday night. It was terrible. The defense did start off good, looking good, but you just couldn't withstand it because the offense was so bad. And it was at a point in time, I think it was in the third quarter, where LSU only had 67 yards of total offense. I mean, that's terrible.com. And, you know, I think that Isminga, the offensive coordinator for the LSU Tigers, I think that he got a little conservative.
Yeah.
He threw the ball 35 times, but I think that, you know, he was so afraid of what Alabama D-line was going to do. He kept he did a lot of max protection.
Right.
He had 2 receivers running 2-man routes. Alabama secondary is too talented for you to go out there and run 2-man routes.
Right.
Facts. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You got to get more creative in the pass game. You got to get full receiver. You got to get spread. I think going forward, I do think LSU is right there. They right there. They just got to get more creative on offense.
So you don't think they overrated?
No, I don't think they overrated. I just think they got to get more creative on offense. They got to go to a full-blown spread. They got to get a dual-threat quarterback in there. Right. Joe Burrow, I think you're a good game manager. I think you're a Trent Dilfer.com type of quarterback. But you are not the answer when it comes to beating Alabama. They got to get a dual-threat quarterback in there. Peter Parrish, in the 2019 class coming from Alabama, he's a dual-threat quarterback. I think that kid can come in and possibly help this team going forward. We'll see if he's going to get a fair shot. We know what happened to Narcisse. We know what happened to Lindsey Scott. They didn't get a fair shot. Hopefully, Peter Parrish and McMillan.
Justin McMillan.
Hopefully, Peter Parrish comes in here and gets a fair shot because Joe Burrow is not the answer. He's not a dual-threat quarterback. And if you go back and look at the history of teams that beat Alabama, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Frazier,
right,
from Auburn.
Or
was it Kenneth Marshall? One of them.
No. I think it wasn't Frazier. It was Marshall.
It might have been Marshall.
Nick Marshall.
Might have been Nick Marshall. What's his name? Trevor Knight.
Trevor Knight.
With Oklahoma.
But he went to A&M.
Yeah, but he
was in Oklahoma.
He beat Alabama.
Alabama at Oklahoma.
When he was at Oklahoma. He was a dual-threat quarterback. You got to get a dual-threat quarterback to beat Nick Saban. You have to. And I want to give a shout-out to Savion Smith, and who was a former LSU Tiger.
Transferred.
And transferred to JUCO and went to Alabama. He did a great job on Saturday night. Past 13 junior. The true freshman who Alabama was lucky to have because everybody and their mama thought he was going to LSU. He did a great job on Saturday night. Dylan Moses, the Mike linebacker, who was out of Baton Rouge, who was right there in their backyard at University High, and you let him slip away to Alabama. He did a great job on Saturday night. Ended the game with 9 tackles and 2 tackles for losses. Alabama they are set up to win the national championship this year. Even though I'm big on Clemson, I love Clemson. I think Clemson has a great shot to compete and be competitive against Alabama. Mm-hmm. I think when it's all said and done, man, Bama is going to be holding that trophy up again when it's all said and done, unless you just catch them on a night where everything just going wrong.
Listen, Jonathan Diggs says Alabama is a cheat code, man. Demetrius Evans says no great defense, need a quarterback. Also says LSU great team, need a quarterback. Derek Lovett says 9-2 was a beast. He dominated the O-line. Facts. He also says spread them out. Like I said, Coach O gotta go. That's what he says. Greg Anders says the OC knew he had to be aggressive and play calling after the Florida game. I agree with that. And Wayne says, but if LSU had an offense, they would have won the game. LSU defense did their job, but they were on the field too much. Bama offense tired them out. I agree with a lot of those statements. I always say this. To me, if people watch that game, at one point in time, LSU was 2 of 11 on 3rd down. At some point in time, you got to go for it on 4th down. Hey, you're not moving the ball.
Right.
You got to be aggressive. Listen, you can't continue to punt to the ball to these people. You can't continue to go. See, when you're 2 of 11 on 3rd down, you know what that means? The very first 3rd down, you're off the field.
Yeah.
You're off the field. So you can't have that in the game in your own backyard. Hey, listen, my problem with it was you have to be aggressive because you are playing at home. You're not playing in Tuscaloosa. See, when you're playing at home, you could take risks. You could take chances. Why? Because you know you have you have a crowd that could be behind you. You have things that could work into your favor. I'm big on momentum. It's a big deal in college football. You take a chance, you take a risk, you do something because you're playing the #1 team in the nation. And here's the deal. You got to understand the importance of the game if you're LSU. If you don't win this game, Alabama clinches the West, which means you don't have a shot at the SEC championship. That goes automatically to them. So you got to take risks and take chances because you need to put yourself in that game as much as you can. It ain't like, okay, you're both coming in undefeated. You lose to them, and they got to lose 2 games. You got a shot. No, they clinch. So you have to be aggressive on the offensive end. When you're to go down 16 at halftime, from this point on, I'm going for it. Unless I'm on my own 20 or 30-yard line on 4th down, I'm going for it. You got to play this game as if this is the only game that's left in the college football season. And LSU didn't play that on the offensive end. That bothered me watching the game. They didn't play the fact that, Oh, they play that. We got another game tomorrow. You do.
Right.
But you don't have another game for the SEC championship if you don't win this one. You don't have another game to compete for that top 4 team slot for that playoff spot. That's where my ultimate problem came in with the way LSU coaches on the offensive side of the ball. But again, they couldn't block number 92. You got to give hats out to what Nick Saban, the way he coached their football team. I donated about a couple of $100. I was, big on things that didn't, things that were going to be, if you watched the show last week, I was big on things that LSU can win this game, things that they were not football related, like playing at home, having momentum, things of that, things that don't show up in the box score, but things in the box score showed up. Third down conversion, that shows up in football. Didn't really win that turnover battle. Guy number 92 in Williams getting pressure, that's the rushing attack, 25 attempts, 12. That shows up in the box score.
25 carries.
12 yards.
12 yards?
That showed up on the box score.
Oh, that's crazy.
That mattered in the game.
That's crazy.
So you got to go for it on 4th downs. And to me, they coached that game and they played that game to where it's like, man, we playing for the Sugar Bowl. We not beating them. We're going to go to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, but with that being said, LSU still got a shot to get back in that 14 playoff.
Speaking about the 14 playoffs, what team can make the 14 playoff that's not currently in there right now?
LSU.
LSU?
LSU.
Now, the 4 teams who are still there are Notre Dame, Alabama, Clemson, and my Wolverines. Those are the 4 teams that are in that position right now. Other teams are on the outside looking in. I think I got a photograph on some of the teams that are on the outside looking in. Teams that are on the outside looking in. Georgia at 5th. Oklahoma at 6. LSU at 7. Washington State at 8. West Virginia at 9. Ohio State at 10. And somehow, some way, Kentucky at 11. And I'm going to stop at 12 with UCF, which is still undefeated. Central Florida. What team you think could probably slip in there that's not in there right now?
I think LSU has a shot. This is why. I think that Georgia loses to Alabama. I think
that knocks out Georgia.
Knocks out Georgia. I think that Michigan, I hope I'm wrong when I say this, I think Michigan loses to Ohio State. That knocks them out there.
Right.
And I think Oklahoma loses in the Big 12 championship. And that puts LSU back in the 14 playoffs. And they're going to be at 4. That's what I think going to happen. That's what I think going to happen.
I will say this. Oklahoma is a team on the outside looking in. They got to handle the business. I think West Virginia, it could be a possible opponent for them in the Big 12 championship. I love the way Will Greer been playing as of late. I think he's a Heisman Trophy candidate. I think he's a first-round selection at quarterback from transferring from Florida. I think his career has really developed. He gave me a bad impression at Florida, so I still have a stigma in my mind. But he's just developed as a quarterback I think that can play for Sunday football. Now that he's at West Virginia, I hope he don't turn out to be a Geno Smith. But at the end of the day, I think his offense, the way he plays the game at quarterback has developed. But I don't think West Virginia really got a shot. I think Oklahoma has a better shot than they do. I think West Virginia got to jump up too many slots.
If Oklahoma went out, right, they control their own destiny.
They control their own destiny.
Yeah, they'll be in the 14 playoff.
I think Washington State is out, even though I think they played very well. They only got 1 loss. They only lost to USC. Offensively, they're very, very good. I think Mark Leach had a pretty much good offense down there. He had them good one, but the Big 12 is just not a good conference this year. So even if they win their conference, Pac-12, and even if the Pac-12 win their conference, I don't think that the Pac-12 winner can come out of there. It's just not that good.
I'm telling you, man, especially if Michigan lose, Georgia lose, Oklahoma lose, LSU is right in
They're right there. They're right there. If LSU lose, if Michigan lose, Georgia lose, Oklahoma lose, LSU is the 14 that's still on the outside looking in.
I'm shocked at how far Ohio State dropped though. I ain't gonna lie, like all the way to 10.
Well, listen, you gotta understand. Purdue has played them tight. The past few games they played.
No, Purdue beat them.
Yeah, they no. You what? You're right.
Purdue beat Ohio State.
Purdue beat them. Purdue has beat them, and I think they played another game where that game was tight. This past game that they just recently played, it was a tight football game. I think they got Michigan State coming up. They're gonna have another tight football game. So Ohio State, as great as they have been, started off in the season, as of late in Big Ten play, their games have been tight. So I think that's where they're not moving up the ranks as much at all because they're playing tight football. They lost to Purdue. The last game that they played, it was a tight football game. It was close. It came down to the fourth quarter. And that kind of program with the amount of weapons they have in offensive end, if you're trying to make a a top 14 push, you can't have it. You just can't have it. I think Ohio State is actually on a team really outside looking in.
I would love to see my Squiddy, Michigan, be in that 14 playoff. Even though I don't think they got a shot in hell to beat Clemson or Alabama, but I would love to see them get in, man, and just put them on the map.
On the map.
You know
I think the program
and people don't understand, man. Michigan has one of the better defenses
in the country.
You know, I'm not saying they're that way Alabama, but they right there.
They're right there. Statistically, they are there. They don't have the same amount of athletes as Alabama by any means. You know, I think Devin Bush has been out for some time, but Rashard Gary and a few other guys on that defense, man, David Long, you know, is holding down that corner. Brandon Watson, you know, the safety who had the big play in that game against Penn State. And I like the other corner. I can't think of his name. It's going to come to me. It's probably going to come in the show.
The defense nice.
Yeah, the defense.
Michigan got a nice defense.
Got a very, very nice defense. You know, you got Trey Black, you know, receiver. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones. You know, you got Higdon.
And one of our best receivers out for the season.
Out for the season. So, it's a very good team. I don't think that, you know, I would love to see them in the 14th play because the reality is Jim Harbaugh has coached his behind them. He just haven't recruited the best athletes. And that's what I think the problem I see with Michigan. He did a phenomenal coaching job, but he has to recruit the guys. And Ohio State has taken that, you know, from him, and that's where I would love to see him in that 14 player. I thought when they lost to Notre Dame originally in the season, I'm like, man, they bad. I mean, I'm a Michigan fan. I was torn, but see how them respond.
They lost 24-17 though.
Yeah, I like to see the way Michigan responded. But again, they got to handle the business. They can't afford a loss anymore in the season, especially to Ohio State in the year. They lose to Ohio State, they're out of it. And a team like LSU. I think Georgia and Alabama got to face each other. That's a loss waiting to happen, I think, for Georgia, which knocks them out of it. And at the end of the day, if Oklahoma can't handle business, LSU is still on the outskirts waiting to slip into there. So they still got a shot, with, you know, with all being said.
Right.
But speaking about Alabama, they're number one, they're undisputed team in the country. Do you think this Alabama team is possibly arguably the best team this century? Since 2000. I won't go to the 90s. I'm talking about 2000. Do you think this Alabama team, the current Alabama team right now, is arguably one of the best college teams or the best college football team that we've seen?
Talking about this particular team?
This particular team.
Nah, it's not better than that Miami team in
02?
01, 02.
National championship Miami when they had Clint Portis and Willis McGahee.
Yeah, when Dorsett was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
when they had
Frank Gore was the practice squad running back.
Yeah, right. Yeah. 02, it was the 02 team.
Yeah, they're not better than that Miami team.
17 first-round pick Miami team.
Yeah, they're not better than that Miami team. That Miami team was just special. That Miami team was just loaded all over the place, top to bottom.
Loaded.
The Alabama team is really good, though. Tua, this is the best quarterback I think Nick Saban has ever had in his whole career.
So could be arguably one of the best Alabama teams that Nick Saban's had?
I can't say that either. But Nick Saban's never had a quarterback like this. Like Tua, he looking like he gonna win the Heisman.
Yeah.
He looking like he gonna win the Heisman.
Like he's a lock for it. Like he's the lock for it.
Anytime you see an Alabama quarterback throw the ball 42 times, you know Nick Saban must think highly of him. Because that's never happened.
No.
That's never happened. Tua's that good. I think that, you know, this is up there with one of his best teams of all time. But it's not, I can't say it's the best. That team with Darius, when they beat Texas, that team right there was pretty special. He was loaded that year.
You talking about Marcel Darius?
Or Marcel Darius, no.
Gotcha.
Yeah, when they beat Texas in the national championship, that team was loaded right there. I think that team was pretty special.
That's the Mark Ingram team. That's the Mark Ingram and Julio team.
Yeah.
So Mark Ingram won the Heisman over Colt McCoy.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if I can put this team over that because Najee Harris. Don't get me wrong. I like Najee Harris. He big time.
Right.
Damon Harris. You know, he a good back. This is senior year.
Right.
But you know, when we talk about you in college football, you stay up until your senior year, you must be not like that.
Right. If you're on that team, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think they got good running backs. Jerry Jeudy is big time.
Big time.
I think Irv Smith is big time too. On defense with Williams and Dylan Moses, DeAndre Thompson, and Savion Smith and Pat Surtain Jr. They loaded, but I just can't say this is the best team of this century. I can't put them over that Miami team. That Miami team with Sean Taylor and them.
Sean Taylor, Ed Reed. That team had 17 first-round picks. Listen,
I can't find myself to do it.
I can't find. I'm with you, G. Listen, I share with people I know. Listen, I know the Alabama team is great. I know they've done a lot of great things as far as college football. Listen, bro, that 02 Miami team is something different. People need to understand. Willis McGahee was a first-round pick. Clint Porter should have been a first-round pick. It was a second-round pick. I mean, Frank Gore is a Hall of Fame running back. I mean, Kelly Winslow was a first-round pick. I need y'all to understand that Andre Johnson was the receiver on that team. I mean, we talking about Vilma, DJ Williams, Justin McDougal, Vince Wolfel. I mean, we talking about some Brian McKinney, who played left tackle. I mean, Vernon Curry, who played guard, who ended up playing tackle in the league, was a first-round pick. Shockey. Jeremy Shockey was on that team, first-round pick tight end. Kellen Winslow was behind him. Kevin Everett was behind him. I mean, we talking about guys on that team. I mean, Philip Buchanan, Mike Rumpf. I mean, Kellen Jennings was a first-round pick who came behind him. Entre Rose, like a true freshman on that team. They were loaded in 02. Loaded. That team there, bro, it's going to be very difficult for me to see a college football team that was better than that team. Now, granted, I know a lot of things. I know people mentioned the 2012 Ohio State team. With Zeke. Obviously, you got Malik Hooker, you got Eli Apple, you got Marshawn Lattimore. You had Ryan Shazier, Damian Lee. Joey Bosa. You can start naming some of the guys. Mike Thomas was on that team. Obviously Braxton Miller. They had another receiver out there.
Lattimore was on there.
Lattimore's on the team.
Conley.
Conley was on that team.
Malik Hooker.
Malik Hooker, yeah. You had a lot of guys. 2012 Ohio State team that beat Alabama. Yeah. Dominated them. That's going to be a team that people start to mention in the next couple of years. Like, man,
really good team.
That was a really, really good team that Urban Meyer had. Obviously, Cordell Jones was at quarterback. Obviously,
12 gauge.
Yeah, you still had JT Barrett, who played a lot of games that year. Who started for them. Braxton Miller was moving a receiver. They had another receiver who got drafted in the second round on the team. I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but he drafted by the Jets. A lot of players that came out the 2012 Ohio State team. Again, I don't think they were better than that 2002 Miami team. And I think this Alabama team is a very good football team. But, man, you're right. About the 2011 Alabama team with Mark Ingram, who won a Heisman, Julio Jones. I mean, you had a couple of other players, Marcel Darius. I mean, I think Mark Barron's part of that team, if I'm right. I don't recall if Courtney Upshaw or Dante Hightower will impact players on that team, but I think they may have been recruited to be on that team at that point in time. That was a very good team. Now Scoot St. Clair, that Miami team is the best in the history of the earth. Yeah. It's not even close.
That Miami team was serious.
They were serious. They were loaded. I mean, Frank Gore was a practice squad. They had Najee Harris. Najee Davenport,
Yeah.
Bruh, that team was loaded. It can't get no better. That's a hard team to beat. And again, I know it was good, but that was a very, very, very hard team to beat. Now, he says, Scoot St. Clair also says, the 01 Miami Hurricanes was a low-key pro team. Now, I would say this. I never seen many pro teams that can beat a college team that can beat a NFL team. But if I had to put one up against a pro team, like the worst pro team that year, I wanted to bet that Miami Hurricanes team with Larry Coker could give them a shot. I ain't saying it was going to win. But I wanted to put that team up against the worst NFL team out there. I'm willing to put them up against them. That's just me speaking. I'm not saying I'm on right. I'm not saying they'll win. But that team was a loaded team. It was very, very, very loaded. But we're going to switch gears. We got another 20 minutes left in the show. We got to get to a little NBA, a little college basketball. Got to.
Baby. Yo, Dookies.
Blue Devils. Y'all tune in. I need y'all comments on this one. We got the Blue Devils is getting highlights, getting a lot of recognition from the preseason. Obviously, people who've been following college basketball, they've been following this Duke basketball team with Zion Williamson, Cam Reddish, R.J. Barrett, across the country. When they played, out of the country in the first, recreation exhibition games. Now college basketball has started. GSportz, you had a chance to cover some of these guys that's on this Duke team. GSportz, do you think this Duke team, now I know you're not a Duke fan, I know we're in Louisville, but help me here.
They like that or not like that?
Or they like that? Or they one of the best roster-wise college basketball teams that we've seen? Or they not like that? GSportz, where we at?
They like that.
They like that.
They like that, man. Barrett, Reddish, Zion. You got the number 1, number 2, and number 3 players
in the nation.
According to ESPN, 1, 2, 3 ranked in the nation on the same team. I think Cam Reddish is big time. Don't get me wrong, but he's not on the level of Barrett and Zion. Zion, that's like having KD and LeBron on your team in the NBA.
Yes.
That's how good I think they are in college basketball.
Right.
And they showed it. And they showed it against Kentucky. Man, Kentucky is a powerhouse. Been a powerhouse. These people came into the game number 2 in the country. Duke was number 4. Duke beat these people by 34 points. Barrett finished the game 13 for 26 from the field, 3 for 7 from the 3-point range, 33 points, 6 assists. Cam Reddish finished with 22. Zion was 11 for 13. 1 for 1 from 3-point range. They finished with 28 points.
Started up the game with a 3. Bah.
It was something to watch and see how they just dismantled and took the soul from Kentucky. I've never seen it before. 34 points? 34. And they could have won by 50.
Yeah.
They took their foot off the gas.
Yeah.
What Zion and R.J. Barrett is about to do in college basketball is about to be unprecedented. It's about to be something that we've never seen before. I think that, they have a chance to really do something special. I tweeted this the other day. I think they have a chance to run the table. Now, are they going to run the table? Who knows? We talking about a bunch of 18, 17, 18, 19-year-olds.
Agreed.
Who knows what can happen? They lose focus. Some of them probably got ADHD. We don't know. But
women galore. They all over the place.
Yeah, they becoming local celebrities at the school. So things can happen. But I really think they are a team. This 1, 2, 3 punch, this 1, 2, 3 tandem is something that college basketball has never seen, in my opinion. People bring up Fan 5. They bring up the Fly Slammer Jammer with Houston. They bring up UNLV with Larry Johnson.
Stacey Augman and Greg Anthony.
And I think that these 3 players, Cam Reddish, Zion Williamson, and R.J. Barrett, I think that they are right up there with them people.
Yes.
But I think that the difference is these 3 are more physically imposing
than anybody else.
Yeah. And I think that's what the difference is. And then you're playing for somebody like Coach K. And I think they have a real good chance to cut them nets down come April, bro.
Right.
Jaleel Okafor and Tyus Jones and Justice Winslow, they got it done. They're true freshmen. Anthony Davis, Kill Gilchrist.
Don't forget about Plumlee was on the team when the freshman was on the team.
Yeah. Anthony Davis, Kill Gilchrist,
Teague,
Lamb,
Dorian Lamb, Darius Miller was a 6th man on the team.
Yeah, they got it done as freshmen. Carmelo, Jerry McNamara, they got it done as freshmen. So it has happened. That John Wall team with DeMarcus Cousins, John Wall, Eric Bledsoe. Who else was on that team? Patrick Patterson.
Yeah, but he wasn't a freshman. He was like a junior at the time.
Yeah, but say he was on that team.
He was on that team. Who was on that Wall team? Bledsoe, Wall, Patterson,
DeMarcus Cousins,
DeMarcus. I can't.
Somebody was on that team, but my point is
I don't recall if Liggins was on that team or not.
That was a really, really good team, and I thought they had a chance to win it all. They lost in the Elite 8.
Yeah.
So just because you got the most talented team doesn't mean you're gonna win it. Because that Carl Anthony Towns team with Kentucky, people thought they was gonna win it.
Think about the team that had Jason Williams and Duhan.
Elton Brand.
Right.
So they had some real talented
and Shane Battier was on that team.
They had some real talented teams that they came through. I see something with this team, man. Zion, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, these kids have a bind. I seen that in USA basketball. I seen that at McDonald's All-American game, Jordan Brand Classic. These kids really rock with each other, and that makes a difference.
Right.
And I just think they have a great chance to cut the Nets down. Now, I know I said I feel like they can run the table. I might have been being a prisoner of the moment.
Yeah.
But I feel strongly about this is the best team in college basketball. I think this team is going to be special this year. I think they're going to put a lot of people on notice that they are one of the better constructed teams that we've ever seen assembled in college basketball. Stay tuned. I can't wait to watch it.
I think they could be a historic team.
Bro, this is a telling stat, too, that people probably ain't going to pay attention to. Against Kentucky, who was a pressing, on-ball defense team who likes to create turnovers.
Right.
In the game the other night, Duke only had 4 turnovers throughout the whole game.
And Titus Jones' little brother, the other Jones, who he also is a starting point guard on his team, and this team is a loaded team. I think this is gonna be the first time that we've seen in the current draft year that I think we could have. I'm a fan of Duke. I think this team could really have 3 players that's drafted 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
I'm talking about between Reddish, Cam Reddish, R.J. Barrett, and Zion Williamson.
Right.
No particular order. I think R.J. Barrett is the best skillful player out of the 3. I think Zion Williamson is the most athletic freak. He's the one most notoriety. He's the YouTube sensation out of the 3. I think Cam Reddish is not gonna get the recognition that he gets. I think he's kind of like the James Harden, Oklahoma, when he's an OKC type player. He's not gonna get the recognition, but a great basketball player. Won't really get noticed till he gets to his own spotlight, his own organization. I think this team really can have 1, 2, and 3 in that order on this basketball team. The last time a team that got close to doing that was that Kentucky team that had Anthony Davis, Gil Gilchrist, went 2nd overall. And, I don't think there's another player on that team at the time could have been 3rd, because obviously T got drafted later in the draft, that draft class, and obviously Dorian Lamb got drafted later, and Darius Mills was a 2nd-round pick. But that's the last 2 times I've seen a player go 1 or 2 that's on the same team.
Right.
This team can have 1, 2, and 3, depending on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I mean, Zion, even though he was ranked number 2 in the 2019 class, or 2018.
2018 class.
He was ranked number 2 in the 2018 class. R.J. Barrett's ranked number 1. I think Zion going number 1.
I think Zion going
He going number 1. Barrett going number 2. Cam Reddish probably going 3. And that's going to be the first time that's ever happened.
You
got 3 players off your college team that go 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
And I really think that's going to happen.
Now, Scoots, T-Mo said the newest I'm the newest member of the bandwagon, and I'm not afraid to say it. Go Duke Blue Devils.
You bad.
Not bad.
You are bad.
You're not bad.
How you jump on people bandwagon like that, man? You're bad.
You're good. Scoot St. Clair says, speaking of the best teams on earth, this Duke boys looking like the Monstars against Kentucky. They could be a top 4 pick in the NBA draft, all 4 of them. He also says the balls were looking like West Jeff, JV, playing Mac, 6, 7, 8. They can run the table. They will legit run the table. They have Coach K to keep them not looking too far at the NBA and keep their head on straight. I don't disagree with that. This team, those 3 guys, man, again, we talking, Fab 5, UNLV, the Houston team. I mean, they have assembled a mini Miami-like team down there in Durham.
This is the Golden State of college basketball.
Yeah, this really is. I mean,
they like that.
They like that. This is a lot of athleticism at one time, and the question is, they have a lot of chemistry very early. And the question is going to be if they can stay healthy. If those 3 guys can stay healthy, man, listen, bro, college basketball have not seen – what college basketball has never seen is so much talent that can play similarly on one assembled team at this level. And it's going to be exciting to see, what this team, what their adversity is going to be. I'm really interested in seeing, when they get to the ACC play. Now, I'm really interested in seeing what happens in the tournament. Like, what team is really going to pull through it. Because Kansas ain't no slouch this year. North Carolina going to always be a threat to them. They're a very coached basketball team. They always keep a junior and senior on their team. But I'm interested to see what their role going to be because they're going to be facing a lot of stiff competition. But I think this is one of the better college basketball teams. From a symbol on paper standpoint, it was sick. And what they did in Kentucky, I was like, it dropped my mouth. I was like, boy, this team's serious.
Yeah.
Pretty much. This team is pretty much serious. But I want to shift gears. We got about 10 more minutes left in this show. I'm gonna let GSportz in the last 5 minutes of the show get into a little high school football, what's to look up for college. Obviously the LHSAA came out with their bracket. What to look for. You got what you wanted. I want to tell you in person. You got your East and the car on different brackets. Opposite sides. You called it. You tweeted it. I tweeted it back to you. You got what you wanted, baby. But man, NBA, a guy like Terry Rozier, your guy out of Louisville, not getting minutes, feeling unhappy, in a winning situation. What's your take on, what the Boston Celtics can do? Right now, obviously, they're having a good situation. They're winning a lot of different basketball games. The season's still early. Everybody played 10, 11 games, but he's frustrated about getting minutes. What is your take on what the Boston Celtics and Danny Ainge should do with a guy like Terry Rozier?
I think that Danny Ainge has done a great job. I think he's arguably one of the best GMs in the NBA behind Daryl Morey from the Rockets. But he's did a great job assembling his team.
You serious?
Yes.
Keep going.
Yes. He's did a great job assembling his team. Terry Rozier, he has all the right to be frustrated. He's a good point guard. I think he's a starting point guard in this league. He deserves to be starting somewhere in this league. I think what you see Danny Ainge going to do before the trade deadline, you got to trade Rozier and get some kind of compensation for him.
You're 6-4 as a Boston Celtic. He needs minutes.
You got to get some kind of compensation for him because Terry Rozier does not deserve to be sitting on anybody's bench. He's that good.
I agree.
Me personally, I would have traded Kyrie. That's what I would have done. But that's neither here nor there. But I think you got to trade Terry Rozier. He came out today and kind of clarified everything and said he's not tripping.
Right.
He's happy in the situation. I think Danny Ainge and him had a conversation.
Right.
Danny Ainge probably told him, look, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to make sure I put you in a situation where you can be a starting point guard in this league and show what you can do.
Right.
And
I agree.
I think Terry Rozier has all the skills to be big time in this league. Now, am I saying he could be a dominant point guard in this league? I'm not saying that.
That has to be seen.
But I think he could be Kimball Walker-like. I think he could be on that level.
Yeah.
I think he could be on that level in this league. So I think you're going to see Danny Ainge find a good situation where he can get something in return that can help his team out to be able to prepare to get to the finals out of the East and beat that Raptors team with Kawhi Leonard. But I think you see Rozier going to get put in a situation to where he can be a starting point guard in the league and be successful, and Danny Ainge gets something in return. I think that's what you see happen.
I think that when you're looking at Terry Rozier, obviously he's averaging 7 points, 4 rebounds a game. But the biggest key stat is that I think he's averaging less than maybe like 20 minutes a game. It's not enough. This guy has put on a display in that playoffs that was like no other, point guard that can do for that typical team and that typical organization. And I think that the Boston Celtics need to realize that he's at a point because he's up in his youth and he believes in his ability. He believes that, man, I think I can now play at this level. And again, I think he's not going to be the Reggie Jacksons of the world who was behind an elite point guard in Russell Westbrook when finally got a shot that he's going to be a shell of himself.
Right.
No, I don't think that about Terry Rozier. I think Terry Rozier, pinned in the right situation, he could be better than what Eric Bledsoe was when he was first originally in the Clippers uniform, and he finally got to Phoenix and he became a star. I think he could really be very good as a starting point guard in the NBA. Now the question is, we talk about it all the time. G, you say it all the time. You're only as good as your situation. So when you're asking for a trade or you're asking to be out of there, the question is that organization going to make the deal that best benefits the organization. And you could end up in a bad organization. You can end up where you may produce stats and produce points, but it doesn't translate to winning basketball. You could be transferred to Phoenix. You could be transferred to Orlando. So yeah, you want to start, you want to play, but you only could be as good as a situation. Man, look, send me to San Antonio. And listen, I may not be the dominant guy, but listen, I think as long as Murray's not here this season, if I can establish myself, I can get things going, and I'm around guys like DeMar DeRozan. I'm around the guys like the center. Valanciunas. You're around LaMarcus Aldridge. You're around a winning formula and a winning coach. You want to be in a situation, if you're Rozier, if you think about being traded, you don't want to be traded to the New York Knicks right now. It's bad. It's bad. You don't want to be traded to the Brooklyn Nets.
But I think that, the day and age we're living in, people want to get traded to a market like that and brand themselves.
Brand themselves, showcase it.
Because the Knicks going to sell off. They 0-82.
That's true.
They're going to sell out.
And you can get the bag. You showcase yourself. You average 18, 19 points a game. Yeah. But, bad example, not the Knicks. I want to go to Cleveland. Don't send me Cleveland. I don't want to be in Cleveland. You could figure out whatever you got going on with Colin Sexton. You can't trade me there. But you go on these good situation. I mean, you could be traded to the Clippers. You go down there. You with Doc Rivers. You're in L.A. You can showcase yourself. Maybe you won't win anytime soon, but you can display your talent. You want to be in a situation, if you're looking to be traded, you want to be in a very, very good situation. I think a team like Denver would have been good too, but Jamal Murray is playing outstanding at the beginning of this year. Him and Gary Harris and Joe, man, that Denver team is looking stout. They're looking good. I think that would have been a good situation, obviously, with Jamal Murray producing and starting to show that he's a viable player in this league. That would have been a good situation. You want to just be a team like Utah. That could be a good situation for him. So I know you want minutes, but you also want to be, if you want to be traded, you want to be in a good situation.
Right.
And if I'm in the NBA, I don't want to be sent to a bad situation. I just don't. If I'm a player, don't send me to a team like Phoenix right now. Don't send me to Dallas. It's just not good situations. It's bad. I know Rozier want to play. I think he had the ability to play. I think he like that. I hope the Pelicans, Dell Demps get in the phone, make something happen.
I would love to see him down here in the NO.
Now granted, I like so far I like the Peyton. So I like Alfred Payton. I like what's going on. But if you get a Terry Rozier who can do a lot of things that Alfred Payton can do, but also score the basketball and put him with Drew Holiday, I would love that too. But you're in a good situation though. That's just the bottom line. That's just the fact that he wants to use his ability, but that's just kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, GSportz, what's your take on the high school football coming up? What's your take on when you're looking at the LHS? What conference, what division? Is it 5A? What you looking forward to? 4A? What you looking forward to?
4A, man. I think that we all waiting on December 8th. With Carr and Easton back up in the dome.
Game came down to a 2-point conversion.
Yeah. If you went to the game Friday, it was big time. I mean, go on my website, www.gsports.com. You can see the highlights from the game with Warren Easton and Carr. I mean, the game ended, Carr won 21-20, came down to the last possession
of the game.
It was big time. I mean, from the pregame antics to the coin toss to the game to after the game, it was just big time all the way around the board. I think you see Easton meet up with Carr in the dome, man. I just think it's going to happen. Somebody to keep an eye on in 4A that could possibly sneak around and upset somebody, and which then on the eastern side of the bracket is Norwood Shreveport. Norwood Shreveport is somebody, they undefeated. They haven't played the schedule that Easton and Carr has played, but they are a talented team. They played Carr last year in the second round. They gave Carr a pretty good game. I think Carr ended up beating them I want to say the score was 28-14,
right, or
something like that. But they was young last year. They had a bunch of 9th, 10th graders starting. So these kids are not 10th and 11th graders. And so, and they're very talented. They got a receiver, his name is Travian Brown, 6'2", 6'3" kid, big time, class of 2020. They got a good quarterback, good offensive line, solid defense, well coached. So I think Norwood Shreveport is a team that you got to worry about if they meet up with Easton. I think they got a chance to meet up with Easton in the quarters or something like that, or the semis. I can't remember. Neville is probably going to meet up with Carr in the semifinal, but this is not the typical Neville team of the past. Yes, they're going to come in well coached, and they probably going to get Carr all they can handle, but I see Carr racing past them. And 5A, First round, I'm going to tell you I'm going to be at Friday. Walker Wildcats out of Baton Rouge versus Hornville Tigers. It's going to be box office. You got Andrew Roberson, who's eligible now. They're a 22 seed. Watch out for these people that make a run. Walker, better watch out on Friday night because Hornville could definitely come in here and upset them on Friday night. Watch out for Hornville. I'm telling y'all right now, Andrew Roberson is big time. He's the best quarterback in the state in my mind. I know T.J. Finley from Ponchatoula will have something to say about that. But I like
different class.
Yeah,
2020, 2019.
Yeah, you're right. But I like Andrew Roberson. He can make all the throws. He's a quarterback on the field. He has all the supporting cast. Jaquan Jackson, the SMU commit, is one of the better receivers in the state. They got this kid Spencer at receiver. They got the big tight end Noah Zarain.
Right.
And Coach Salt has been there before. He went to the state championship last year. Lost to Zachary, who was a runner-up. He won a state championship with East Jump when they took on that Edna Carr team in 2013 and upsetted that team, who was the number 6 team in the country. So Coach Salt knows what it takes to get it done. So you gotta watch out for this Hornville team, man. I'm telling y'all now. And then Walker, without the head coach, Lester Ricard got fired in week 2 or week 3. So
sure did.
So Walker is
I forgot about that.
Walker is very talented. With Jalen Cook and Brian Thomas and Byron Lockhart and the rest of those kids on that team, they very talented. Don't get me wrong. But you gotta watch out for Hornville because Andrew Roberson being on the team changes everything. But in 5A, man, I think John Everett on the same side as West Monroe. They're on the same side as West Monroe. West Monroe beat them in week 1, 44-20. But I think you see John Everett prevail when they meet up with him in the semifinals. And I think you see John Everett get to the dome, man, on that other side.
Different every team.
On the other side, man. Hornville, they got a shot. Destrahan looking real good. Terrebonne. You gotta watch out for Terrebonne. Even though Destrahan gave him all he can handle on Friday.
John Emery trying to put on a show.
Yeah.
Trying to put on a show.
Yeah. Destrahan beat the hell out of Terrebonne on Friday. Yeah. To win the district championship. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that's gonna go. I think one or two things gonna happen for Terrebonne. Either it's gonna be a humbling experience, or they gonna divide even more. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that play out, man. But I can't wait. U-High in that select division, I think St. Thomas More is probably gonna be the team that meet up with them in the state championship. U-High is gonna just run through that select division and just blow everybody out. I can't think about all the other divisions right off the top of the dome. We know they meet down there in 2A. I expect them to get to the state championship and win it all this year.
I agree.
I just don't see nobody in 2A being able to mess with them. And like I said when BigHenry was on the show, if A-Meat doesn't win it all and get sized for their jury, the whole coaching staff needs to be fired. And that's just how I feel. That's how I feel straight up. The rest of the divisions, I can't think about them all the top of the dome. I mean, I don't got it on my phone. We're going to touch on that next week. But that's that's everything I had on top of the dome as far as what's going on in high school football. I mean, I can't wait, man. I love this time of the year. When I go home, man. Go hard to go home. It's where you show what you're made of.
Listen, man.
It's gonna be some exciting football. But I will be at Hornville and Walker on tomorrow night. I can't wait. It's gonna be big time.
It's gonna be a big deal, man. Listen, I'm looking forward to following up your updates with high school football, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see how 5A gonna shape because 5A is a big deal this year, man. When you talking about Terrebonne, Destrahan, now that Andrew Roberson is better for Hornville, you got Eric, you got West Monroe, man. 5A is gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem now that they've got it right with Warren Easton and Edna Carr, the possible matchup in the dome.
Right.
To my two powerhouse New Orleans teams can meet up for the championship. Man, they finally got it right, man. I'm looking forward to see how these playoffs shake out. But I'm starting to get into more of the NBA basketball. I'm starting to get into it a little bit. I'm watching a little bit of Duke. Man, my Pelicans, you're slipping. You got a couple of road games. You got a couple of L's underneath your belt. You've been on the road out there, losing a couple of games. I'm still interested to see some trades. Obviously, I'm still looking forward to seeing where Jimmy Butler goes. Jimmy Butler's letting the Timberwolves know that I can start and play when I want to play. Listen, if you're the GM of the Timberwolves, listen, dog, take the full first round picks. Send them to Houston.
Send them to Houston, bro.
Send them to Houston.
Send them to Houston. Send them to us.
Send them to Houston. Listen, I'm here to tell you right now, that's the best offer on the table. And at the end of the day, everybody knows Jimmy Butler wants to be out of the organization. Send him where he needs to be. You take the first 4 round picks, yeah, they're gonna be late round picks because Houston's gonna be a contender. But that don't matter. If you think that Andrew Wiggins and Big Cat like that, then them first round picks should be supporting cast guys that you need to put around them. But obviously that you don't feel like that. So therefore, I don't get it. But I'm looking forward to see what guys like Jimmy Butler end up, for as a trade. I'm interested in seeing what Le'Veon Bell does. I'm interested to see if Le'Veon Bell comes report and sign on down line this tender and see if he come back. Because I'm going to tell you something now. Statistically, James Conner has outproduced him statistically. Right. I'm not saying he's a better overall back. I'm just saying his first 8 games is better than Le'Veon first 8 games statistically as far as touchdowns and as far as yardage. He's better. I'm interested in seeing how that goes. Stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube and follow me on Instagram because I'm going to be, updating y'all on my expertise on things. I'm interested in seeing players getting moved around right now. That's where I'm at when it comes to the world of sports. I'm interested to see how players shape up and move around. Where Jimmy going, where Le'Veon going to end up at. Is he going to be a Steeler? Things of that nature. So follow me. And I want to let y'all know, as much as I love streaming games with you guys, and we had a great time, not doing it no more. It's not happening. I appreciate it. I love all the fan people love my commentary. I appreciate it. But man, I got guys like GSportz and Coach Hurricane here that come up a big distance to come make sure they do this show with us, man. We sit down, we talk sports. I appreciate the love and I appreciate how it all went down and we had a great time. I upload y'all videos. That's just how that's going. Yeah. I appreciate all the messages you stream the game. No. I upload videos, I upload different things, and that's just how that's gonna rock. Y'all tune in to FanView Live each and every Thursday. Like the page, subscribe to the page. This page ain't never gonna go nowhere because I ain't gonna be I'm not streaming live unless I'm live here. Just how it's going down. Appreciate y'all tuning in again. Like the page, subscribe to the page. Listen, I'm your boy Fred.
GSportz, man.
Listen, y'all already know what it is. It's the best sports show on the internet. FanView Live, real fans, talk sports. Y'all have a great Thursday, and y'all catch me throughout the week. I'm going to have some videos for y'all. And follow my man GSportz. Gotta follow. Gotta get to it. You dig? We out.
What's up, everybody? This is boy Coach Hurricane here. You can follow me on Facebook at Henry Singleton or on Twitter at HenryHayOU15.
Listen, this is your boy Fred. Listen, you can follow me on Facebook